Hey guys, this is Anime here, and today we are going to be doing the opening part of What If Symbiotes were in Dragon Ball. I just wanted to do a little what if before I move on to my main what if, and I might not even complete this. However, I thought it would be fun to see how this what if plays out. There's nothing much else I want to say in the intro, so without further ado, let's get into the video.
Winter time, all the time, ooh, yeah. Look at the way that I move, swag, disrespectful and I'm rude, okay. I had cocaine in the school.
To begin, I will explain the brief backstory to the origin of these symbiotes. First off, their home planet will be destroyed. This means that the symbiotes are a rare occurrence across the galaxy, constantly searching for new hosts. This what if will begin in the middle of the Saiyan saga. Nappa is dead at the hands of Vegeta and Goku is up against him now. They are about to begin their matchup and are stood atop their rock pillars. The two begin their fight and Vegeta is clearly having the upper hand. Without the use of Kaioken, Goku's chances of success are very slim. He is barely able to land attacks of his own, and the vicious attacks of the same prince steadily wear him down. Seeing that he won't win like this, he decides to try and use his Kaioken. However, as he starts to use this power-up, a weird black substance scurries across the rock pillar to latch onto him. Initially he feels nothing, but he starts to feel the substance ooze through his skin somehow. His growing red aura fizzles out into nothing, and even Vegeta is quite perplexed to see a black goo growing across Goku. Once the goo finishes moving across him, the blue part of his gi becomes black and Goku's eyes switch to a midnight black colour. What is up with this guy? Vegeta says to himself as he watches the symbiote cover Goku. What was that? What's going on? Goku thinks as he feels a slightly weird tingling inside of his body. Once Vegeta starts to approach him, his aura seems to explode around him and the aura is a dark, sinister purple. Against his will, his body blasts in the other direction and his speed seems to have amplified greatly. Whoa, I feel so much stronger, Goku mutters to himself, beginning to power up. His purple aura blasts outwards and his power continues to increase as he starts to merge with his powerful symbiote. The aura is similar to Vegeta's Gallic Gun aura, except it's far darker and more intense. While continuing with this power-up, the black symbiote grows to cover his arms and part of his face, giving him a far more sinister look. Goku then darts ahead towards his target and slugs forward his right fist into Vegeta's stomach. His speed is now nothing like his speed just prior, and this one punch launches Vegeta right through a rock pillar. Before he can even regather himself and fight back, Goku throws a multitude of different attacks that break him apart. After only minutes, Vegeta can barely keep himself in flight and wounds are all over his body. His breath is now heavy and deep with his arms flopped to his sides. How could I lose to a low-class warrior? What is this power that he has attained? Vegeta wonders, looking down to his bloody body. With the last of his stamina, he chucks up the fake moon into the sky and begins to transform. Now towering over the Saiyan, he roars with his new powers and he swings his fist right at Goku. This punch, which has now been multiplied by 10 in terms of strength, launches Goku through several pillars. Slamming into the last pillar, Vegeta finishes off by spitting out an explosive mouth blast towards the Saiyan. Goku instinctively pulls up his arms to try and block the attack that seems to be moving far faster than him, but what he sees once he opens his eyes is a fortified wall of black goo. Once this happens, he feels himself lose control of his body again, and his right fist turns into a massive black scythe. In a split second, he arrives beside the abdomen of Vegeta to slice through his armor and into his body. With this scythe, he slices him up in other places and finishes off with launching a black ki blast towards Uzaru's back. The explosion from this ki blast is powerful and explosive, which lifts Vegeta off his feet. Goku seems to be losing more and more control, and the symbiote starts to cover more of his body. The only part of his body that now shows is his head, and even that is covered with several veins of the symbiote across it. Kaioken, Goku exclaims with a more sinister and evil voice. His purple aura then switches to a darker red aura with purple streaks of ki flowing through it. With the use of just base Kaioken and this much of the symbiote, Goku has gained insane levels of strength and his increase in power is inexorable. Zooming towards his target, he lets off a flurry of attacks that even Vegeta in his Uzaru form struggles to handle. What is up with this Saiyan? This can't be his power, Vegeta thinks to himself, worried. As Goku is aiming high up, he dives down with his newfound speed and slams his fist into the Uzaru's stomach. Since his fist is so small and he's putting massive amounts of force through it, the Uzaru feels like he has been shot with a laser beam. Once he lands this attack, he flies right around and past the Uzaru's burly body to fly right through his tail, reverting him to his base form. Now injured and beaten, Goku easily has the upper hand. Unlike the canon, Goku doesn't feel like sparing Vegeta for some reason and he raises his hand to kill him. However, Goku's will is strong and he does not actually want to do such a thing. The symbiote across his arm retreats back and under his skin, making him weaker but more controlled. Eventually, his entire symbiote retreats and the blue part of his gi remains black this time. Goku. A deep, devilish sound is heard in Goku's mind, and he also starts to feel his body healing. After taking a hit from Uzaru Vegeta, it hurts him quite a bit, but the pain is simply wasting away. This is because the symbiote is healing his injuries, and he actually gains a Zenkai from this too. Who are you? What are you? Goku asks, looking around to find the origin of this sound. However, the sound seems to be coming from everywhere. He can't pinpoint an exact location. You really do have an infantile mind, Goku. I am something that can give you power. The power to protect your friends, your son. Without me, you would have died today, Venom insists, forming a black Venom head behind him. I want to grow power on my own, Goku says back, turning to see the demonic looking face. What are you? Goku says in fear, looking at the black face. We are Venom. You know that you need me, Goku. I can heal you, I can make you stronger, quicker, more durable. The choice is big for Goku. Goku has always wanted to gain strength on his own and without the aid of others. However, the symbiote is already starting to infect his mind. With this symbiote, he could get stronger. He could protect his friends and family. I mean, that's literally what he has just done. Goku doesn't give a reply, but Venom is in his head and he knows that he has agreed. While Goku has been having this conversation, Vegeta has used this time to escape and he is currently getting off planet. Once this symbiote disappears, Krillin and Gohan are seen in the distance, coming back to see what's going on. After this whole event, the group of fighters still have to go to Namek, but this time Goku is well enough to go with Krillin and Gohan. However, this means that there will be no gravity chamber. The three fighters head with Bulma to Namek and they all perform mental training. What is odd is that Goku has an odd inclination towards eating meat. Also, raw meat is what he prefers. The chocolate on the ship is also gobbled right up by Goku, which makes the other fighters quite confused. Sometimes on the ship, he loses control and starts to eat more than he should, and even if he is a Saiyan, Bulma knows that he is eating more than he usually does. On Namek, the group of fighters are still met with the puny force of 3 Frieza soldiers. Once Goku sees these fighters, he is keen on fighting these 3 all together at the same time. With a base power level of 10,000 now, he is quite strong, but Venom can make him multiple times stronger. As he lands on the planet, he lifts his arm and a large mass of black goo shoots towards one soldier with spikes on the end of it. This slams into the stomach of one of the soldiers, even piercing through their entire torso with one of these spikes. Next, he pulls such fighter towards him and knocks them out with a punch to the head. The 2 other fighters have fears struck right into their hearts, but Goku isn't going to let them off at all. He charges forwards at the next soldier, then backhands them into a rock hill before knocking out the final soldier by using the symbiote to amplify his punch. Krillin is quite confused by Goku's spontaneous viciousness, and what scares him is that Goku has a slight smirk across his face. Also, he is definitely confused on how he just has black goo oozing out of his skin. What was that stuff? Krillin asks, hopping out of the ship. It's some weird thing that I absorbed back on Earth. It's making me so much stronger. With this, we can definitely get the Dragon Balls, Goku says blindly, feeling himself being stronger than before. In the distance, Zarbon is more than concerned with the incredibly high power level that he sees with this scouter in the distance. This time, multiple people notice this power level, including Frieza himself. A power level of 16,000, it was fluctuating between 13,000 and 16,000 constantly, Zarbon states, seeing the power level die down until it isn't sensed by the scouter anymore. Probably just a glitch with these scouters, nobody's power level fluctuates like that, Frieza says, turning back to the Dragon Balls that he already possesses. The events change again once Gohan and Krillin want to get the Dragon Balls from Frieza. This time, Gohan is protecting Bulma, and Goku is at the front lines with his best friend Krillin. Gohan has more than enough power to protect Bulma, and so he is trusted with protecting her. Goku is also a great asset on the offensive if they happen to get into an altercation at any time. Seeing the Emperor, Goku is keen on keeping his profile low. Unlike the humans of the Marvel universe that seem to become overwhelmed by the symbiote, Goku has a strong enough will to retain some of his rationality. However, his keenness on battle has not diminished, and it seems to have been heightened instead. The Namekians get rounded up by the Frieza soldiers, and some of these people get mercilessly slaughtered. Goku this time wants to step in and help them, however he feels that ki coming from Frieza, and he knows that he has power far above even his own. He barely managed to use his speed and small size to defeat an Uzaru Vegeta with a power level of just 180,000. Frieza has a power level of 530,000, and his mere presence is frightening. With the adult Namekians slaughtered, only the children remain, and Goku can barely stand to watch these innocent children get killed. I have to go and help them, Goku whispers in desperation, looking back to the scary Emperor. I know you want to, but you can't. You'll lose, Krillin says, urging his friend to stay put. I think we should just take this chance and leave. As Krillin says this, Dodoria lifts his hand to kill Dende, and Goku's body cloaks in the black ooze from before. Only his face remains uncovered, and he zooms towards the group of fighters with his newfound strength. As he charges ahead, he also uses Kaioken, and the symbiote covers his face entirely. His muscles seem to get larger too, and his dark red aura takes effect once again. Goku screams with a demonic voice, and one punch launches Dodoria through an entire building. Since all of their scalpers had been broken by Mori, these soldiers are unable to see how strong he is right now, but Dodoria was killed from this single hit. Also, as the symbiote takes effect more and more, the level of Kaioken that he can handle increases since his body becomes more fortified. With the venom eyes, he looks back to Frieza with his claws showing off, and he growls with his fangs. Zarbon, Frieza says with an aloof face, moving back his pod to give Zarbon space. What an ugly being. Well, I hope that you have lived a full life, because it comes to an end now, Zarbon says, beginning to transform. Since he just saw Dodoria get swatted and killed with a single strike, he knows that he has to transform before he tries to fight. Now twice as strong, he still isn't enough to handle the specimen that is Goku, Venom. Zarbon flies right towards Goku and blasts away Dende with his aura alone. Once Dende falls back and away, Krillin takes this chance to try and get him to safety. Frieza cannot be bothered about some bald guy trying to save a little Namekian kid, so he just lets him do what he wants to do. The beautiful, now ugly soldier clashes with Goku, and the Black Warrior doesn't move at all. Their clash literally sounds like a bomb, and the ground beneath them cracks, but Zarbon looks more hurt from his own attack. Goku then slashes across his chest and kicks Zarbon back with a savage front kick. These two attacks already wear Zarbon down significantly, and he is already thinking of aborting this entire mission. The slash across his chest is very deep, and his armor has been shattered with this single swing alone. Once Zarbon falls back, Goku pounces and throws several different blows right to his stomach, making Zarbon cough out a mixture of spit and blood. Using his extraordinary speed, he flies from both sides of Zarbon to land two precise punches across the face. Finally, he jumps from above and slams down with all of his force and his weight to create a large dent in the ground, with cracks that scurry out from the point of impact. Since Frieza sees that his right-hand men have been rendered useless, he just takes a Dragon Ball and flies into the distance. Goku, now impulsive and irate, flies right after Frieza, managing to catch up to him, although Frieza gets right out of his pod to land one quick cheap shot on Goku. This one punch launches Goku all the way back to the floor, and the symbiote is forced to heal the significant injury. Once the wound heals, he gets a Zenkai and his power level increases to 12,000. I mean, Frieza is several times stronger than Goku, even when he uses Venom, so just a punch from him is very lethal. Goku, are you okay? Krillin shouts from the skies above, since he is already ready to leave. Since Goku has the symbiote to enhance his hearing, he can actually hear what Krillin is saying quite well. Yeah, Goku shouts towards his best friend before getting up to leave. Once Frieza sees the power that Goku has showcased, he decides to call in the Ginyu Force a little earlier. Also, the fight with Zarbon and Vegeta doesn't happen since Zarbon is dead. Now Frieza has his 5 Dragon Balls and Vegeta has his 1 Dragon Ball after massacring the village, which gave him a Dragon Ball. During this time, Dende tells the crew of where Guru is and how he has the last Dragon Ball. Goku gets him on his back and Gohan gets to go out this time. Dende is on his back as they fly, and once Dende's grip starts to loosen suddenly, the symbiote stops him from falling by almost strapping him to Goku. Whoa, Dende says, as they fly on. Once they arrive, Guru realizes that they are of pure heart, but he feels something odd inside Goku. Your heart is pure, but you are not one. Another organism resides in you, which has a heart of malice. However, this organism is not totally evil. Anyway, if you are here to save the planet and protect us, I shall thank you with a Dragon Ball. The last Dragon Ball is handed to them, and as an extra, their potentials are unlocked. This time, Gohan is able to get his potential unlocked early, which allows him to raise to a power level of, let's say, 35,000. That puts him slightly below the Ginyu Force members, I believe, but I will make him weaker than them anyway. We don't know the definitive power level of the members of the Ginyu Force, but I think the main members have power levels of around 40,000. When I mean the main members of the Ginyu Force, I'm trying to exclude Guldo and Captain Ginyu, since Captain Ginyu is much stronger than all of them and Guldo is much weaker than all of them. Goku's power level jumps from 10,000 all the way up to 50,000. Alongside the symbiote, he is most definitely a feared opponent now. Even Gohan can feel his increase in power, and it is quite scary. Dad is so strong now, Gohan thinks to himself as he looks up to him. Now, this is the time when Vegeta steals Frieza's Dragon Balls after being fully healed. I'll put some images of the manga up on the screen so you guys can understand what I'm talking about. His power level is at 50,000 and he now has 6 Dragon Balls with only Goku stopping him from gathering all of them. This leaves Frieza in quite the predicament since he has no right-hand man to help him get what he wants. Zarbon and Midoriya are both dead. Vegeta catches Goku with the Dragon Ball and he feels much more confident in taking him out. Since he has gotten so much stronger, he actually thinks that he can defeat him. As Goku is heading home with Gohan beside him, Vegeta ambushes them from below and charges up to launch a massive Ki Blast at Gohan specifically. Vegeta again, Venom shouts to inform the Saiyan. Vegeta, why do you always have to attack us? Gohan, go, Goku shouts, giving Dende to him too. They're not getting away that easily, Vegeta declares, charging right at the young Saiyan that is trying to leave. As this happens, fear overwhelms Gohan, but he snaps out in rage and throws a single punch to defend himself. Even though he's weaker than Vegeta, the attack does take him by surprise due to him believing Gohan would be weaker than he actually is. As Vegeta robs his bruised nose, Goku comes from the side of him and slams his heel into the side of his body. He lands the kick just before Vegeta can grab Goku, and this gives him enough time for him to snatch Dende and to fly in the opposite direction. You've gotten stronger, Kakarot, but so have I. I will show you the true power of the Saiyan Elite, Vegeta roars, erupting in a powerful, pressuring aura. Whoa, he's stronger than he was before, Goku says to Venom, using his symbiote to block the incoming gust of wind. Yes, I think we will have to merge our powers from the jump, Venom says. Actually, I'll try and use my powers alone. I want to see how strong he's become, Goku says, making the symbiote retreat under his skin. You better know what you're doing, Goku, Venom replies. Both of the fighters can sense the key signature coming off Vegeta, and they know he will be no easy foe to defeat. You will no longer overpower me, Kakarot. I have power beyond what a low-class Saiyan like you is capable of. I am the strongest Saiyan alive. With this arrogant proclamation, Vegeta charges and zooms right towards Goku. Vegeta lands the first attack and punches Goku away, finishing off with 2 punches to the face. However, Goku is able to block the 4th attack, which propels him back violently. How has he gotten so much stronger so quickly, Goku asks, just evading a kick aimed at his head. He then follows up by kicking Vegeta himself, successively chucking a Ki Blast ahead. Through the smoke, all Goku hears is Vegeta laughing, which confuses him a bit. He thinks that he has caused at least a bit of damage, but this laughter proves otherwise. Once the smoke clears, Vegeta is seen with bruises, but his breath is not heavy. He is far calmer than Goku would like, and this makes him a bit concerned. Goku, do not be rash now. You do not have the time to battle Vegeta, and he is not going to be an easy opponent by any means. Venom insists, slightly worried about the outcome of this fight. No, I'll finish this myself, Goku says, powering up. I'm getting serious now. Perfect. I will take revenge for the humiliation back on your stupid planet, then I'll go back to blow it to pieces, Vegeta shouts, darting towards Goku. The two Saiyans go toe to toe for a long time, and it seems as if they might just end up losing by a stalemate. They go blow for blow, and they both seem willing to carry on and battle. Vegeta comes down with a kick that Goku gets hit with in the head. However, once Vegeta tries to throw another attack, Goku lands a cheap shot to the stomach, then another punch to the head. Finally, Vegeta comes over to land a left hook to the jaw, and then he puts all of his strength to launch a close-up energy. This hits Goku directly. He is unable to dodge such a swift beam of energy. The beam extends all the way down to the ground, and the Saiyan comes crashing down through a hill of rock. Even though they are equally matched, Vegeta seems more willing to carry on battling than Goku is. Before Goku can even get up to his feet again, he coughs blood and falls to a knee. Goku's chi is decreasing, Gohan thinks, as he is flying back to Krillin. This scares him quite a bit, as if Goku gets killed, there is literally no chance that they can get the Dragon Balls. Vegeta, flying over Goku, is overwhelmed with the massive ego boost that he has gained from this battle. He has gone from getting stomped by Goku to somehow overpowering him in battle. Hello there, Vegeta, Frieza says, clearly agitated. Gohan, while flying, can't help but flood more ki into his flight as he feels the evil energy signature coming towards Goku. It's Frieza, why would he try and find us? You stole my Dragon Balls and the Ginyu Force aren't here yet, so you'll have to die now. Goku, don't think you are free because you killed both of my best men. You will die for that too, Frieza says nonchalantly. Vegeta has felt confident that he can now sense ki, and from the signature given off from Frieza, he knows that he is not a person that he can fight. No, not now. I only have one Dragon Ball left and Frieza has already found me. Kakarot actually killed Zarbon and Midoriya. No wonder I couldn't find them when I wanted to kill them myself, Vegeta says in a panic, knowing that there is no way out of this. In front of Vegeta, Frieza releases his power and reveals all of the strength that he has left. You know what? I'm feeling nice, Vegeta. Give me the Dragon Balls and I'll leave you as easy pickings for the Ginyu Force, Frieza declares, using his power to scare the Saiyan. I'll have to give him the Dragon Balls. He won't have all 7, but I won't have any. You've always used your power to rule over us and get what you want, haven't you, Frieza? Vegeta thinks in his mind, annoyed. Annoyed is actually an understatement. He is furious. Fine, they're directly in that direction, Vegeta says, dejectedly. Ah, that's great of you to comply, Vegeta. Use the time that you have left because your days under the sun are numbered. You and you, saying. After he says this, he just zooms into the direction that Vegeta pointed at. Vegeta wants to continue on his battle with Goku, but when Frieza referred to the Ginyu Force, fear struck through his entire body. Kakarot, as much as I want to take your head off, the Ginyu Force are an elite force of warriors, and I'm probably not even on the level of their captain now, Vegeta says, sweating from this comment alone. These guys must be strong if you want to work with me. I just want to make sure that if I die, you do too. Don't get any wrong ideas. Hey guys, this is Anime Ball Z here, and today we're going to be doing the third part of What If Symbiotes Were in Dragon Ball. Before I start this What If, I want to go over the minor plot inconsistency that was in my last part. Vegeta got healed and stole Frieza's Dragon Balls, but the only reason that he was getting healed in canon was because he fought Zarbon in the first place, and Goku in my What If killed Zarbon before Zarbon could even fight Vegeta. The reason this inconsistency came up was because I scripted the part twice. I scripted the whole part and I didn't like how it turned out, so I re-scripted part of it. The reason Vegeta gets healed in my What If is because he had already fought Goku. Instead of him fighting Zarbon, he fights Goku, and then he fights Goku again. I'll write a pinned comment under this video to further explain the inconsistency. There's nothing much else I want to say in the intro, so without further ado, let's get into the video.
Slick talker since a jit. Winter time, all the time, ooh, yeah. Look at the way that I move, swag. Disrespectful and I'm rude, okay? I had cocaine in the school.
With Goku having his potential unlocked, Krillin is the next to get this done, and this time Vegeta follows Goku to their hideout. Otherwise, Vegeta would have been furious to see that they had one of the Dragon Balls at their hideout, but since that Frieza has the Dragon Balls now, it's great to see that they're the ones preventing him from achieving his goal of immortality. Since Vegeta is injured from his battle with Goku, he is healed by Dende, and this raises his power level again to 65,000. Unknown to Vegeta, his power level is actually higher than the majority of the feared Ginyu Force that are coming to take his life. Once he hears of this ability of Guru's, he also wants to get a piece of the pie. Bring me to this man, I need to increase my strength also, Vegeta demands to the group. The group are reluctant, but Goku informs them of the incoming Ginyu Force, and this makes the group more lenient on letting Vegeta go to get even stronger. So Vegeta and Krillin get their potential unlocked by Guru, even though Vegeta does have quite a sinister mind. However, something weird plays out before Vegeta gets his potential unlocked. The same Prince, you have evil in your heart, but so does the other organism that resides within you. The organism is infantile, weak, but growing in strength. If you are willing to save this planet from the incoming foes, then I shall grant you this gift of mine. Upon arrival, Vegeta's power level skyrockets past Goku's up to 240,000. Vegeta receives a slightly lower multiplier with his power level boost than Goku, since Goku possesses more potential than him. Also, Krillin's power level raises to 20,000, so he isn't weak by any means now. With this power, the Ginyu Force are toast. Then Frieza will be my next target, Vegeta shouts, making his eyes flash a dark red. Here they come, Nail says, beside Goku and Vegeta, who are stood beside each other. Okay, here we go, Goku shouts, hyping himself up for the battle that awaits them. This means more brains for me, Venom says in Goku's mind, horrifying him. What, you're only eating chocolate while with me? I'm not going to eat someone's head, Goku replies in his mind, disgusted. 5 pods crash from the sky and land not too far from Guru's place. Leave here, I do not want those fighters to know of Guru's location, they will cause unnecessary trouble, Nail replies, waving his hand to try and shoo the fighters away. Okay, I should be able to take out these guys, right? With my own battle power, Goku asks Venom. That is likely. 2 members are much weaker than the rest of them, but your key signature likely outclasses even theirs. I will still be here as your last lifeline, Venom explains. The reason he feels 2 weaker members of the Ginyu Force is because he senses Goldo and Captain Ginyu. The main issue of that is Captain Ginyu isn't actually weak, he's just suppressing his strength. Listening to Nail's command, Vegeta and Goku fly off to meet the Ginyu Force head on. Also, Krillin and Gohan fly far behind them with Dende, just to have someone that can heal the two and to see how the battle plays out. The 5 burly warriors, well I should say 4 excluding Goldo, step out of the pods to reveal themselves. Goku and Vegeta can both sense that Jace, Berta and Recoome are the strongest, while Goldo and Captain Ginyu are the weakest. That must be Captain Ginyu. How come his signature is so weak? He must know how to suppress his power too, the intelligent Vegeta surmises, landing ahead of them. Vegeta and another Saiyan, I presume. Well, both of your power levels are below 5,000. No wonder Frieza conquered your planet so easily, Ginyu says in laughter. Maybe you are hiding the little strength that you have. Show me what you're made of, Saiyan, Ginyu exclaims. Upon doing this, Vegeta shoves Goku back to steal the spotlight. As he does this though, veins of black and red goo show up across his skin. The veins are thin and slow moving, so Vegeta doesn't even notice them. Move back Goku, they're mine, Vegeta shouts back to Goku, showing off his burly physique. With a powerful roar, Vegeta's power level begins to climb. It breaks past only 40,000, but he doesn't want to show off all the power that he has. His power level stays at around 41,000, then he darts towards the clustered up warriors. To begin, he targets Goldo and tries to punch him, however he disappears and appears behind Vegeta. Goldo then launches a full power ki blast towards Vegeta's back, causing smoke to emit from the point of impact. His armor doesn't even break and he just turns back to Goldo with a smirk. "You won't be able to evade my attacks forever, weakling," Vegeta says with a frightening smile that makes his eyes go slightly red. "Why is Vegeta covered in black veins? Are you enhancing him, Venom?" Goku asks, confused. "No, I feel a very weak key signature from within him that is growing, but I do not know what it is. I did not intend to spawn another of my species. Keep watching, we might gain more information." Goldo is now scared for his life. A powerful Saiyan far stronger than himself is after him. He can stop time, but it takes a lot of energy for him to attack while also stopping time simultaneously. In the manga, he tends to use his time-stopping ability to evade attacks, not to throw them himself. Vegeta zooms right at Goldo, then releases a massive energy wave with one hand. He pours his ki into this one attack, and Goldo is just able to evade the entire blast with his stoppage of time. Due to where the blast is aimed, it travels right towards the Ginyu Force, who are bewildered by its power. Remember, Vegeta is only using a slither of his strength, but his power level is around 41,000, which is at the level of the majority of the members of the Ginyu Force. As the energy wave travels, it destroys the ground beneath it and creates a rather lengthy trail. The Ginyu as well as the Ginyu Force are forced to lift themselves into flight and to dodge the attack. Since Goldo has just used his time stoppage, he won't be able to just use it back to back. Vegeta knows this, and as soon as he sees Goldo teleport, he speed blitzes him. Before he can even react, he slices off his head with his palm, taking his attention back to the main members. "Don't think that you're all that just because you got rid of Goldo. I'll show you how weak you truly are," Jace exclaims in fury, zooming down towards Vegeta. Vegeta isn't the slightest bit scared as he approaches him, and all he does is smile upon seeing his approach. The two fighters clash forearms and seem to be equal. Jace is putting his all into his push, but Vegeta is barely even trying. Lifting his suppression just slightly, his power level reaches around 60,000, and this shocks the other members of the Ginyu Force. How could his power level reach such a high level? He's stronger than everyone but Captain. No, that can't be true, Berta thinks to himself, while looking at the values his scouter is displaying. Jace and Vegeta then go at it, and Vegeta clearly has the advantage. He can veer around all of Jace's strikes, and his power just seems insurmountable to Jace. Jace tries to land a punch on Vegeta, but he ducks under and snaps out his fist into his stomach. His armor cracks and shatters from this one punch alone. Jace is sent flying back, and Vegeta can't stop smiling as he feels the power coursing through his veins. "Let me face him," Ginyu states. "Why, I can handle him with Raccoon," Berta claims, unable to accept Vegeta's evident superiority. "No, you two do not have the power on his level. Jace is on par with you guys and he was overpowered the entire fight. You will just get yourselves injured for no reason at all," Ginyu claims, slowly descending in flight. "So, the Captain Ginyu has come to take out a lowly Saiyan. I will destroy you just like I did to Jace and reduce your entire team to ashes," Vegeta shouts with a slight deep undertone to his new voice. However, the alteration to his voice is too minor for everyone to notice, everyone except Goku. "He does have a symbiote, doesn't he, Venom?" Goku asks, almost certain now. "Yes, it isn't me though. It has to be some form of accidental spawning. Or he has formed a totally new form of myself from merely a fragment of me. It is still hard to tell." At this point, the black veins on Vegeta start to move, getting more and more powerful by the second. "Ah, Vegeta, your arrogance has always been the factor that has limited you. You were just unable to know your place," Ginyu shouts, clenching his fists for battle. "Do you think this is the end of my power? I will show you that I am limitless," Vegeta shouts, beginning his power up. His power level climbs and climbs until it stagnates at 90,000. However, his power level starts to climb past that. "Oh, even higher, 95,000. Brilliant," Ginyu thinks, almost completely unfazed. Vegeta flies right towards Ginyu, and since he still has his power suppressed, he is taken aback by the impactful punch that lands on his jaw. It leaves a rather sizable bruise on his face, but it only really makes him angry. Releasing his dark purple energy, Ginyu reveals his true strength, and Vegeta can even feel how strong he has become. However, he isn't scared, but is just looking forward to the fight even more. Vegeta tries to land a fair share of different attacks, but Ginyu is just way faster than him. He extends out with a side kick, but Ginyu does a somersault right over the kick, shooting down several ki blasts after doing this. The blasts slam right into Vegeta, and after taking a few, he lifts his arms to try and take the majority of the impact. Each ki blast releases a large cloud of smoke, while also making Vegeta slide back. Through the smoke, Ginyu lands a finisher blow, which is a flying punch to the chest. Vegeta is propelled backwards and starts rolling across the floor uncontrollably. From the looks of things, Ginyu has won. Goku gets ready to step in, but there is audible laughter coming from Vegeta. Laughter? Why is he laughing? Ginyu and Goku both think this. His injuries then start to fade right off his skin, and Goku can sense his ki signature rising as this happens. The symbiote, he is receiving a Zenkai, Goku says. You really thought that was everything I have? You are sadly mistaken. 150,000? How is this possible? Vegeta explodes in a darker silver aura with larger streaks of black and dark red this time. His aura is also larger and so is his rage. His muscles seem to have gotten slightly bigger too. You're finished. Vegeta's power level raises to 270,000, the max level at this point. It has actually increased from his previous power level of 240,000 because as he is fighting, his symbiote is obviously healing him and making him stronger. This can't be possible, can it? How has he risen to such a high level of strength? Out of practically nowhere, Vegeta zooms forwards and speed blitzes the captain. He lands a single punch and launches him several tens of meters back, while also destroying the ground around him. Before Ginyu can stop himself, he flies ahead with insane levels of speed. Just as he is a meter away from his target, he opens his palms wide and unleashes a full power Gallic gun from point blank range. The energy wave engulfs Ginyu and kills him before he even has the chance to switch bodies with him. You killed Ginyu that easily? I must say I'm quite impressed, Frieza says as he descends from the skies. Frieza, you're next, Vegeta exclaims, fired up from the previous battle. Don't get in over your head now, Vegeta. I am leagues ahead of the man you just defeated, Frieza says, smiling in a maniacal way. Vegeta doesn't care, then just starts powering up. He genuinely believes that he has the power to win, and he is very motivated to do so. His aura isn't even silver now and is completely black. As he powers up, his eyes go red too. Frieza just watches all of this happen and isn't fazed at all. He doesn't have a scouter, but he is still incredibly arrogant, believing that he is incapable of losing. The two fighters begin their bouts and Frieza easily has the advantage. Vegeta is strong and he actually surprises Frieza, but this doesn't mean that he is dealing any proper damage. Vegeta comes up to throw a kick, but Frieza elegantly swivels over the attack while in midair. Frieza then kicks Vegeta back. The Saiyan Prince receives even more devastating blows and the battlefield now truly looks like a war zone. The fight is so destructive that even Nail and Guru can hear it from their considerable distance away. I hope that those Saiyans can take down Frieza, Nail thinks, looking out to the distance with a wary face. Vegeta, now stood on the ground, looks nearly dead. His body is covered in blood and severe injuries. Frieza, on the other hand, is completely fine. The only way you can tell that he's been in a fight is the blood across his armour that isn't even his. I told you that I would kill you, didn't I? Frieza says, shooting down two death beams towards Vegeta. These beams are simply too fast for Vegeta to dodge, and he is hit by each beam in the chest. You're next, Saiyan, Frieza says, looking at Goku. While Vegeta is on the ground, the veins across his body start to move more energetically and thicken across his injuries. It is quite odd, but Frieza doesn't even notice it happening. Goku knows that Vegeta is in no shape to fight, and so he steps in to try and take on the Emperor himself. Do you think we can win? Goku asks. Goku knows that Vegeta is classes above him in terms of strength now, and Frieza just subdued him without breaking a sweat. This makes him quite fearful, but there is nothing that he can do now. He has to fight. You must use all of my power and then maybe you stand a chance. Your goal should be to hold off while Vegeta is healed. His Zenkai will be our only chance of survival. Goku's body cloaks in the symbiote and his body even becomes larger too. His power level multiplies past its much lower 50,000. He then uses Kaioken times 5, which actually makes him stronger than Vegeta by quite a large margin. I almost forgot how strong this symbiote makes me. I'm sure we can win now, Goku says, darting ahead with amplified levels of speed. Frieza's eyes widen upon witnessing this speed, then he is forced to block as he sees the incoming attack. This punch launches the Emperor back, and while he is forcefully pushed back, Goku chases after him in flight. In an attempt to escape, Frieza flies upwards incredibly fast, and he even creates a shockwave below him in the process. However, Goku has no problem catching up to him to throw a swift combination of punches and kicks. With the final punch, he cracks Frieza's armor, and with this motion he does a front flip to then kick him downwards. While Frieza is in this uncontrollable descent, Goku shoots down his signature Kamehameha wave that is now a darker shade of blue. The energy wave hits the target head on and deals some significant damage. A large explosion is given off, and to some of the fighters, Frieza is dead. Wow, we really won, Krillin says in surprise. However, Goku notices that Frieza's ki signature hasn't completely faded. His ki is instead increasing. How is this possible? Goku wonders thunders from above. The cloud of smoke thins and Frieza is revealed from inside the rubble in his second form. Goku also falls out of Kaioken as the time limit is reached, and this means he is in quite a dangerous position. If he continues to fight at this level, he will be toast. Continue to fight him like this, Venom orders. Why would I do that? Do you not sense his signature? I stand no chance without Kaioken, Goku replies, bewildered by his demand. Just fight, trust me on this. Goku is reluctant to battle, but he accepts nonetheless. He knows how smart Venom is, and he wouldn't just say this without a sophisticated reason. This leads Goku to dive right into the smoke to engage in combat with Frieza once again. His first few attacks completely miss the target, and Frieza is just way too fast for him to handle. Frieza then knees Goku in the stomach, making him cough up spit and blood. Just another weak saying. You all stand no chance against me, Frieza says, straight to Goku's face. However, Goku feels himself getting stronger off this attack. It is slight, but he feels it, and so does Krillin. Did you feel Goku's ki signature increase just a little bit there? It felt like he got a little stronger from that kick. It might be that symbiote he's always talking about. Frieza then throws several haymakers, starting off with 2 punches to the face. Goku has no chance of resisting since the attacks are so fast and unpredictable. Frieza throws forward a savage front kick, but this attack is caught by Goku. He is forced to push back with both hands to stop himself getting hit, but he is then attacked from the side with a hook. Frieza is now quite bored of the battle, so he jumps up then shoots down a bunch of ki blasts, forming a shower of explosive ki. The size of this shower of blasts is vast, so Goku's entire field of view is covered in these glowing balls of energy. Goku is forced to use his speed to evade each and every attack, but he is clearly struggling. He gets hit by one then multiple, which destroys the symbiote cloaked across him. Frieza lifts his fingers to deal the finishing blast, but out of nowhere Goku is swiped right out of the way. Next time, I won't save you, Vegeta says, looking back to the Tyrant. His power level has risen from 240,000 to 1 million as his injuries have been healed. From his veins, the black goo thickens to cloak his body in a dark red symbiote, just like Goku. We are Carnage, Vegeta exclaims, roaring as he feels the new power coursing through his veins. With this symbiote, he is of course much stronger than he was, and his power level multiplies. Vegeta then charges right at Frieza and forms a scythe across his right fist. Using this weapon, he lands 2 slashes across Frieza's torso, then kicks him back. This kick has bone-crushing force and launches Frieza through a rock hill since he literally can't resist it. From this scythe, it forms claws over his fingers, and he does the same thing on his other hand. This gives him quite a demonic look, and Frieza feels fear once he sees him coming towards him. This is almost an alien feeling to him, as he just doesn't get scared at all. I mean, to him, he's the strongest fighter in the universe. Vegeta chucks in 2 large ki blasts towards Frieza, but he flies up to dodge both of them. Stay back, Frieza demands in a furious voice. He then uses the attack from Cannon, an explosive wave, to blast away the Saiyan. He fuels himself with all the power that he can muster and uses the short amount of time that he has to begin his transformation. What is surprising is that once he is prone to attack, Vegeta just lets him transform. Frieza reaches his 3rd form and fights Vegeta again, but he is still weaker than him. Vegeta uses vicious attacks and a deadly fighting style to deal serious damage to Frieza. It isn't even like how he usually fights. He's fighting like how we do. He has a symbiote of his own, Venom states, as Goku watches the intense battle. Both land punches and attacks of their own, but Vegeta has the clear advantage. The only reason Frieza is landing punches on him is because he is pretty much letting him do so. If Vegeta was to really use defense and fight properly, he'd be dead already. You want to beat me? Then beat me at my full power. I'm still suppressing vast amounts of my true power, Frieza claims in fear. Fine then, I will slash you down no matter how much stronger you become, Vegeta shouts, with Carnage backing his voice. His armor is now coated in the Carnage symbiote, and he looks much bigger than he once did. Vegeta, you can't just let him get stronger. You won't be stronger than him forever, Goku urges from beside him. Vegeta doesn't even reply at first, then shoots out a large symbiote projectile, almost killing Goku as it goes right through his heart. Don't interrupt my battle, Kakarot. Do that again and I will kill you, Vegeta shouts, turning back to Frieza, who reaches his final form. This is your final form? You look nowhere near as strong as your previous state, but I can sense that you have gotten stronger. You will still stand no chance against me. Vegeta, as confident as ever, flies right back to Frieza. His confidence is swiftly shot down as Frieza shoots some incredibly fast death beams ahead. The only thing preventing the beams from completely passing through his body is his fortified symbiote protecting him. With his Saiyan armor under the symbiote, it allows for a good deal of protection. Frieza then lands 2 punches to his chest and swats him away with a swiveling kick. The Saiyan crashes into some rock, and before he can react, Frieza kicks him right through it, then launches a ki blast towards him. Just from this single ki blast, a large explosion is given off that damages Vegeta's symbiote. Vegeta's symbiote struggles to cover his entire body as there is now less mass and it moves across his body. His armor has been cracked under it and he is bloody once again. Just as he thought he could win, he's been shot down once again. Frieza's power is seemingly insuperable. You've entertained me for long enough, but I just don't desire to see you get even stronger than before. I'll just take you down now, Frieza says, launching a massive energy wave to engulf Vegeta. Goku then flies towards Vegeta in reaction to try and get him out of the way. Unluckily, he is too late and he just can't get to him before he is directly hit by the blast. You're next now, Frieza says, in his sleek new final form. Goku cloaks in his symbiote again, and after a Zenkai, his power level has skyrocketed to 450,000. As both of the Saiyans fight, they grow stronger and stronger as a result of their symbiotes healing them. Kaioken times 10. The ground starts to rumble with his intense form, and his power level breaks past even 15 million. This amount of power is even more than what Vegeta just showcased, and everyone can sense it. Goku just got even stronger. He can surely beat Frieza now, Krillin says, watching his power up in awe. The symbiote gives him a devilish look, and with his dark aura, he looks even more sinister. Since Frieza is heavily suppressed to begin with, he is caught off guard by Goku's insanely fast assault. His speed is insane, and he manages to land a quick elbow on his chin before punching his gut. Frieza is forced to fight at this level for a time as he is completely occupied with not getting hit himself. Goku continues to fire off several attacks, and Frieza barely even has the time to lift his suppression. However, Goku takes a step back to charge up his strength and dive right back in for a killer punch. The punch is caught and his Kaioken fades. Frieza lifts his suppression up to 30% and his power level is now at 36 million, way above anything Goku could ever output. Venom notices this and on a whim he decides to take over. Goku's body enlarges and grows even stronger until he looks completely like Venom. His tongue grows to a very large size and Venom is smart enough to play on the defensive. Frieza starts to overpower the symbiote completely. Venom seems to have a completely new fighting style but is alien compared to Goku's. He has amazing defense and fights with his smarts, not just mindless brawn. This is quite puzzling to Goku, who always saw Venom as a brazen warrior. Frieza slams Venom into the ground then flies down to try and attack him, but at the last minute he manages to evade. However, he is forced to take several punches after this and is hit with several death beams. Venom has to use his symbiote to block them and he can handle some, but some beams manage to pierce through him completely. I don't have much energy left, I won't be able to heal you for much longer, Venom says, holding up Goku's bloody arms. His wounds seal up under the black symbiote and his power level raises up to 1 million. Frieza can't even sense this, but Krillin is smart enough to decipher what's going on. This weird power that Goku and Vegeta possess heals them every time they get injured. It's an endless source of power for Saiyans to get stronger after near-death battles, Krillin says to Gohan. Frieza is absolutely tired of watching these fighters come back stronger and stronger, so he decides to use his 50% power, lifting his power level up to 60 million. You've pushed me past the brink. I never thought I'd have to use this form again in my lifetime. I'm going to destroy everything you love, Frieza exclaims, launching a massive ki blast back to the group behind Vegeta. The energy ball is bright and blinding and clashes with Gohan, who leaps forward to block the other two from getting hit. However, the blast is too powerful and he succumbs to its incredible power. Goku looks at this atrocious sight and Gohan is just still on the floor, unmoving. Dende, try and heal him, Krillin says. I'm sorry, he's passed away, Dende says, as his healing has no effect on his body. You'll die for what you've done, Goku exclaims, as his dark aura switches to an enchanting gold. The ground rumbles under his feet and his hair raises, which is covered by the dark symbiote. He transforms into a Super Saiyan and destroys the area around him with his aura alone. His power level is now past 150 million, and it continues to increase even past this point. Goku almost appears behind Frieza, who is 2.5 times weaker than him now. Goku lands a single knee that launches him several meters away. After this, he launches a barrage of ki blasts that Frieza is forced to tank head on. Before he can even get a break, Goku charges through the cloud of smoke and kicks Frieza down to the ground in one swing. The tyrant coughs blood upon impact and struggles to release from Goku's grasp. However, the symbiote stabs through his chest and wedges him into the ground. Goku, engulfed in his golden aura, stands over Frieza in his glowing black symbiote, then he lifts his hand to kill him. You killed my son, now I'll kill you, Goku says, launching an energy wave right at Frieza. Before he can even reach his full power, he is destroyed in the blast and left in pieces. Done, Goku says, reverting to his base. Beside him, Vegeta is on his knees in pain. Since his symbiote is so weak, he can barely keep himself alive. Carnage has had no chocolate or brains, so he hasn't gained any phenethylamine. By the way, that is why symbiotes eat brains and chocolate. Brains and chocolate contain phenethylamine, and that's what they need to survive. After this, Dende reluctantly heals Vegeta, and the Dragon Balls are gathered together. However, once the Dragon Balls are gathered, Vegeta starts cackling maniacally. You stole my kill from me. You humiliated me on Earth. I'll kill you along with Venom, Vegeta shouts, coating in the red symbiote. He gives off a loud alien shout while creating several sharp appendages from his back. This is unnecessary, Goku says, powering right back up into his Super Saiyan form. This time he just uses his ordinary form and his power level stays at 50 million. Vegeta flies right towards the Super Saiyan and swings his scythed fist. Goku swerves past every incoming attack with ease and lands a single punch on Carnage's chest. Vegeta's armor underneath the layer of symbiote is revealed from this single attack, then Goku rattles off with a bunch of different strikes. His power has been amplified so much that Vegeta literally can't do anything to resist his strength. Also, since he's in Super Saiyan, he's a little bit more ruthless and doesn't have as much sympathy for the Saiyan Prince. "Leave now," Goku shouts, using Venom to project his voice. Vegeta, motivated by Carnage, flees the scene and the group can then begin getting their wishes. Piccolo is revived and they then realise that multiple people can't be revived with one wish. As a result of that, they didn't want to waste the last 2 wishes on reviving people when multiple people can be revived with the Dragon Balls back on Earth. With these 2 remaining wishes, Venom has something in mind for the second wish. "I constantly rely on chocolate and brain matter to survive. Let's wish for me not to need it anymore," Venom comments, piquing Goku's interest. This allows for Venom to find energy in the same things that Goku gets energy from, and it also just makes things a whole lot more convenient as Goku stops getting bothered about eating brains by Venom. On Earth, Kami and Mr. Popo gather the Dragon Balls then revive everyone that was killed by Frieza and their army. This means that pretty much everyone gets revived, including Gohan. The symbiote bonded with Goku only after Tien, Yamcha, Chiaotzu and Piccolo were killed, so these people are revived too. Of course excluding Piccolo because he already got revived. Also, the planet isn't about to explode because Frieza gets killed before he tries to destroy it. Unluckily, Guru dies and the Namek Dragon Balls are now rendered useless. The group have already gotten the wishes that they needed and so they just head back to Earth. During this time, Vegeta is bubbling with rage. Carnage continues to build this rage as Vegeta wants to kill Goku and Carnage wants to kill Venom. However, Carnage reiterates to the arrogant prince to take heed of his advice and to not attack him just yet. Carnage is a furious and bloodthirsty symbiote, but he is intelligent like his father Venom. Their main task now is to get as strong as possible to then return to Earth and to kill Goku along with Venom. Everyone is now on Earth and the Earth is pretty much peaceful for now. Gohan returns to his studies and Goku continues training with Venom as his permanent companion. His training is still arduous since his will to get stronger has never faded. Also, Venom is suspicious about Carnage and Vegeta. He doesn't want to just sit around and wait to possibly get killed, so he also urges Goku on to continue with his training. A year swiftly passes and Goku grows even stronger. I'm going to stop giving people power levels from now because they really become redundant from this point onwards. Everyone is just doing what they normally do. Goku is currently training while embodied in his fortifying Venom suit. However, all of the Z fighters simultaneously sense a powerful, intimidating key signature racing towards Earth at high speed. That's Frieza's signature. How? I killed him, Goku wonders as he sees a large ship just behind the clouds. Intrigued by Frieza's sudden appearance, he races to follow the ship, and as he does so, he finds many of his friends following it too. They touch down in the same place that they do in canon, and Goku is at the forefront of the Z fighters. This spaceship crashes down from the sky, and King Cold, alongside with a heavily mechanized Frieza, both get out of the ship. He lived. That's truly surprising. His species must be incredibly durable, Venom surmises, watching the 2 tyrants storm towards them. Out of nowhere, someone else flies out from the distance and all of the fighters cannot recognize the person from their key signature. It's also abysmally low and the group all take this guy as some human, but he is flying. These details confuse frankly all of the fighters. Goku in reaction tries to get in the way to protect the kid. "You have to get out of here. I don't know who you are, but you'll die if you get in the crossfire," Goku says, placing his hand on Trunks' shoulder. So this is Goku. No wonder everyone admired him, he seems kind, Trunks states internally. "Don't worry, I'll take down these warriors for you," he says, while his eyes glow a clear white. After he turns back to Frieza, his body engulfs in a white symbiote, also making him grow. Trunks is enveloped in a silver aura, which then changes to a golden aura that makes him far more powerful. The group all sense his key signature and they are surprised to say the least. He looks like an incredibly formidable fighter. "This is another symbiote. Weird," Venom says to Goku as they just watch this all play out. He zooms towards Frieza head on, frightening him with his golden aura. It gives him flashbacks to the fight that he had with Goku when he had that same golden aura. Trunks clashes with Frieza head on and slams him through the spaceship that he came to Earth with. Next, he turns to King Cold as he comes towards him to try and attack him. Using his symbiote, he forms a large blade from the end of his fist, impaling King Cold's stomach. In succession, he pulls out the blade then slashes his body twice. Frieza is already quite injured and he can barely breathe as his mechanical systems have been busted with that one attack alone. Trunks uses his aura to blast through the spaceship, destroying it in the process. Finally, he forms a large sword-like blade with his symbiote and slices Frieza vertically, killing him. "I'll kill you for that," King Cold says, stumbling towards him. Trunks just gives off a weak smile and gives him the exact same treatment that Frieza received. Who are you? Krillin asks in fear. Do not fear me, I am on your side, that's all I can tell you, Trunks says, while his symbiote pulls off his body. His golden hair is revealed, but it then falls and returns to its ordinary purple colour. After this whole event, Future Trunks still tells Goku about everything he needs to know about him being from the future and the androids coming in 3 years. However, some things change in this continuity. First, I would like to go over what has changed in the future timeline. After Goku dies of the heart virus, Venom remains and takes host with Gohan. Future Gohan is of course amplified with this power, but it still isn't enough to combat the androids head on. The Saiyans do get stronger as they battle, but the androids catch on to this and just take them out before they reach a level that's above theirs. As a result of this, Bulma experiments with the remains of Venom to try and form some super symbiote with enough power to bond to Future Trunks and to ultimately provide him with enough strength to take down the androids. Also, while she is doing this, she forms an antidote for the heart virus, and the special antibodies in this cure bond with a modified Venom symbiote to form this continuity's version of anti-Venom. Future Trunks bonds to this symbiote and returns to the future timeline to relay the information that he needs to. All of the Z-Fighters get informed of the androids that are arriving in 3 years' time and they prepare to leave, but someone then lands ahead of them, Vegeta. Kakarot, I've come to slay you and destroy your tiny, insignificant planet, Vegeta shouts, using Carnage to project his voice over to the fighters. So this is your father. He has a high key signature, Anti-Venom says to Trunks, watching the prince approach them. He's gotten much stronger. Proceed with caution, Goku, Venom says, also watching him. I don't want any interference. If anyone interferes, I'll kill the person that does so. Fine, Vegeta, if that's what you want, Goku replies, engulfing in the dark symbiote. He still doesn't use all of the symbiote's power, that isn't his strongest form. Maybe he isn't adept at using our abilities, Anti-Venom says to Trunks. Goku's aura then explodes outward and switches to golden, making his black symbiote glow with a slight golden tint. Let's begin, Vegeta shouts, engulfing in his own symbiote. The two Saiyans face off and Vegeta begins the fight by charging at Goku. The two then clash and this creates shockwaves due to their immense force. Vegeta slides back powerfully while Goku isn't moved a single inch from his original position. Vegeta continues to try and initiate battle, but Goku shuts down each and every attack that comes his way. Vegeta is using high levels of battle intelligence, and the Z-Fighters are aware of this, but that 50 times boost from Super Saiyan isn't something you can just outdo with strategy. Vegeta at full throttle dives right down to Goku to desperately land at least one attack, but Goku just evades his incoming attack, throwing out his very own kick that launches him back into the sky. Unfazed, Vegeta just lands back on the ground and doesn't show any type of anger or annoyance. Abruptly, he roars and erupts in a powerful red aura before continuing to charge his ki. This aura switches from red to orange and then to a pristine gold as he transforms into a Super Saiyan. He can transform into a Super Saiyan now, Goku thinks, in shock and surprise. Unlike the Vegeta of the canon timeline, during this 1 year period, Vegeta has been going through very arduous and strenuous training. Also amplified by Carnage's healing during their training, I'm sure that he would be able to get Super Saiyan during that time. Vegeta with a cackle flies right at Goku and kicks him back with a knee. This time Vegeta seems to be the stronger fighter as Goku continues to play on the defensive. Vegeta throws several haymakers and Goku just blocks every attack with his arms. He continues to swerve his body to try and block it, and every now and again the symbiote will get larger and stronger at the point of impact to minimize damage. To stop this constant barrage, Goku calculates when he will throw his fists, then catches both while they're hurtling towards him. Flexibly, he knees Vegeta in his chin before spinning and catching Vegeta with a back kick straight to his chest. The kick causes Vegeta to slide back more than 25 meters, but he is not prepared to lose again. His rage starts to bubble as he sees that Goku might still be stronger than him. Of course, his arrogance just omits that thought from his brain and masks it completely. He lets off a flurry of punches, and this time Goku gets caught by one. Successively, he throws a ki blast at Goku's stomach, then slashes that same area with a formed scythe, sticking off the end of his forearm. Goku then stamps down with a blade of his own, and the battle continues in this manner. They go blow for blow, but it seems that Vegeta is slowly starting to wear out. Goku's technique with the symbiote is better than with Vegeta and Carnage, and he can use more of its abilities. He is also stronger off rip, so there isn't much Vegeta can do to necessarily overpower him. The fight is loud and destructive, causing Yamcha to take Bulma away from the scene to make sure that she isn't killed in the crossfire. The two warriors manage to simultaneously punch each other in the face, but only Vegeta is forced backwards. His breath has become very heavy and akin to an intense pant. However, spontaneously, Vegeta jumps forward with incredible explosiveness. "Carnage bomb," he roars, slamming both of his palms onto Goku's chest. For a split second he does nothing and Goku is slightly stunned at why he'd performed such an odd movement. However, out of nowhere, several spikes of symbiote protrude from his palms, impaling Goku's entire body. Then to finish off, 2 energy waves are released from his actual palms. The attack is almost blinding, making several fighters shield their eyes as well as close them. The aftermath of the blast is frightening as Goku is left with several gaping holes in his body. The symbiote, since it isn't actually durable when being exposed to flames, has been damaged quite significantly. Some of Goku's actual body can be seen and he can barely keep himself stood up. Venom rushes to his aid and the wounds are promptly sealed up by the symbiote. The other fighters are horrified by the scenery and future Trunks contemplates diving right in to interfere with the brawl himself. Just to add insult to injury, Vegeta waves his hand towards Goku, releasing a wave of red spikes of symbiote towards him. They pierce into Goku in many locations, making him bellow in agony. Vegeta then charges up his signature Gallic gun and prepares to aim at a Goku who is swaying from side to side with blood dripping out his mouth. Before he can launch the blast, Trunks dives in at full throttle and encapsulates himself in a symbiote. He also makes sure to transform into a Super Saiyan and he uses all of this built up force to slam Vegeta to the side. The launched energy wave as a result is diverted out of Goku's path and he is therefore protected from this blast. Venom isn't exactly out of stamina, so he promptly begins sealing the wounds and he does so quickly. "I told you I'd kill anyone who interferes," Vegeta shouts, trying to kill Trunks with a blast. However, he speed blitzes him and punches him back into a hill of rock. To try and stop him from causing more damage, Trunks lets loose with a flurry of punches that causes a small crater to form due to the sheer force of his combo. Vegeta is left temporarily unresponsive and with this time, Goku is fully healed. His powers increase significantly and everyone can sense this. "Wow, his power level is way higher than anything Frieza ever showed. He's so much stronger than he once was too," Krillin says in astonishment. "Let me take control. I need to talk to my offspring," Venom states. Just for your information, when the Saiyans take control, they use the symbiote in a way where their hair shape is still visible and their general physique outline is visible. It looks something like what I'm showing on the screen right now. However, when the symbiotes take control of the body, they look just like the symbiotes we know. Again, I will show you what I'm talking about on the screen now. "Symbiote, I know you aren't unconscious. Why do you want me dead so bad?" Venom asks as he approaches Vegeta, who is still laying on the destroyed collection of rock. In reaction, Carnage takes control of Vegeta's body and forms the typical Carnage symbiote suit. "There is no reason, father. I desire Carnage and nothing else, hence my name." "Well, that's annoying. We can't keep the symbiote alive if all it wants is to cause destruction," Venom realizes. With a psychopathic symbiote in control of one of the strongest Saiyans in existence, he is a great danger to everyone. Suddenly, Venom latches onto Carnage and begins absorbing him. It's like in the Venom movie where the symbiote almost encapsulates the other, then absorbs it. This time, Vegeta is left out of the mix and the two symbiotes battle for domination over the other. Goku feels the intense pressure from this battle, but in about a minute, Venom totally absorbs Carnage and basically kills him. The symbiote then retreats under Goku's skin, reducing the threat of Vegeta. For the 3-year period of training, Vegeta stays on Earth, and after Carnage is removed from him, he lives with Bulma. He continues to train there to try and get stronger, but while he is doing that, he goes off planet sometimes since he basically does what he wants. Future Trunks has to leave for this time and the fighters are left to train among themselves. Goku trains with Piccolo and Gohan while also training his symbiote. Venom can't exactly heal others without separating from his host. This is something that Anti-Venom can do, but not other symbiotes like Venom. The 3-year period ends and everyone is ready for battle. I'd say Goku is much stronger than his canon himself, even without the enhancement from the symbiote, because his symbiote allows for him to get stronger way faster. I mean, he literally gets stronger as he fights since Venom's healing is so efficient and he doesn't have to wait for his body to get healed after the battle is done. Now things stay practically the same until Android 19 and 20 are found in the city of Sasebo. Goku is the first to find them and he faces them both with the aid of Venom, his symbiote. After they fly to the wasteland location away from the city of Sasebo, Android 19 faces him first. Just before he begins the fight, Venom starts to sense something off inside Goku. "Your heart, there is a weird malfunction that I can't heal. I think it's a special sickness," Venom announces, making Goku wary. "I guess I have to get this fight over with quickly then," Goku replies, powering up into his Super Saiyan form. Again, he uses the power of his symbiote, making him many times stronger. Android 19 begins the battle and reaches out its absorption tool to try and suck out some of Goku's energy. Goku shoots out a blade of symbiote, stabbing right through the android's chest. Then he follows up by punching Android 19 in the face and kicking it backwards. His left fist then grows much larger as the symbiote collects across it and he slams the android into the ground with a heavy hitting strike to the head. The fight continues and Goku is just completely laying out Android 19 and he finishes the android off with a one-hand energy wave to vaporize it. The fight is swift and was in Goku's favour the entire time, although he is starting to feel the effects of this supposed heart virus. No matter how hard Venom tries to heal his sickly heart tissue, the virus remains. This isn't good. I do not advise you to continue fighting like this. The heart virus is having more and more of an adverse effect on you, Venom explains, retracting his symbiote to remain under his skin. With this, the fight is pretty much over, but then someone else steps in to continue the battle. This person is Vegeta. He lands ahead of Goku and faces Android 20 or Dr. Gero directly. "I did not save you, Kakarot, you're next," Vegeta says with a smile. Vegeta powers up into a Super Saiyan, but then he reaches further. His key signature continues to rise, and out of nowhere his muscles bulge out and make him look akin to a bodybuilder. His hair becomes far more spiky and he chuckles when he looks up at the android. Dr. Gero is incredibly scared as his power level has reached a higher level than he can handle. However, he believes his other androids can take him, especially his most prized project, Cell. Unluckily for the group, the symbiote has been used multiple times on Earth, and Dr. Gero has picked up more than enough information on it. Dr. Gero uses his photon wave and blasts in the opposite direction to try and escape Vegeta. However, he sees him in the distance and he charges right after him at full pelt. Since he is so fast, he is actually able to make it back to his lab before Vegeta can catch up to him. That full power photon wave gave him just enough time to achieve what he wanted. Arriving at Android 16, 17 and 18, he activates all three of them. Vegeta still has to search throughout the entire maze-like collection of rocks to try and find the laboratory. Before he finds it, it's too late. Seconds later, the Z-Fighters make it back to the area and chase right after him. Vegeta stands in front of the lab and he is met by the two cyborg androids, Android 17 and 18. "So these are the warriors that Saiyan feared so much. I'll kill you both with ease," Vegeta exclaims, standing against the two fighters. Vegeta zooms towards 17 and punches him before he's kicked into the air by 18. They continue to battle in this manner and somehow Vegeta is holding his own rather well. I'd say he's losing, but he's also landing some hits of his own and handling himself rather well. Future Trunks knows that his father won't be able to continue like this for a long time, so he decides to step in. Vegeta blocks an incoming punch from 18, then swivels around to dodge another attack that comes his way from Android 17, a kick. In this spin, he lands an attack of his own and hurls him back with that attack too. He blocks two incoming punches and prepares to block a third, but Future Trunks comes in from the side and slams into 18 like he did to Vegeta 3 years back. "I'll take 18, you take 17, Trunks shouts out to his father, engulfing in his anti-venom symbiote. His power increases significantly, even more than when Goku uses his symbiote. In Super Saiyan 2, he is incredibly strong. Vegeta is even proud to have a Saiyan by his side that is as strong as he is. "I don't need any help," Vegeta exclaims, charging into battle with 17 once again. He lands a punch on him, then launches a close-up ki blast to knock him back, but he is kicked in the side by Android 18. Once he blocks a punch from 18, he is hit in his back by an energy wave from 17. This frustrates the prince quite significantly, but his arrogance keeps him fighting in this scenario. Not taking heed of Vegeta's demand, Trunks punches 18 and launches a barrage of ki blasts down towards her, which leaves his father with 17. Vegeta isn't really able to stop him from doing that since he is already so occupied with his other opponent. Both fighters end up back to back, and as this happens, Anti-Venom starts to heal Vegeta's injuries. I'm pretty sure I said this in my last part, but in case you've forgotten, Anti-Venom can heal people without having to bond to that person. With his injuries healed, his strength is raised once again. "I'll take out you androids once and for all," Trunks shouts, darting towards 18. He creates a sword and starts swinging it violently, but 18 can dodge each swing. For the last swing, she airily sausage rolls over the sword to then strike down with a kick to his head. In succession, she launches a barrage of her very own ki blasts that are stronger than Trunks. To finish off, she flies down and throws several punches. For the finishing punch, Trunks is launched into the ground, creating a large crack. However, Anti-Venom heals his injuries and makes him even stronger, which increases his confidence even more. Vegeta, now stronger than before, can handle the Darkhead android. They go blow for blow and are seemingly equal now. Vegeta lands a punch to his face and tries to kick him, but 17 veers his body out of the way. In this same movement, he lands a kick to Vegeta's side while also kicking off him. In his ascent, Vegeta launches a one-hand energy wave, but 17 manages to evade the blast. As he spins away, he whips out his leg for another kick, but Vegeta dips under it and lands a second energy wave. Since 17 was trying to land a kick of his own, this means that he's in quite close range, so the second energy wave is very close to him. Suddenly, Android 16 arrives and removes his arms to launch a bunch of attacks towards the strong duo. Trunks rushes to his father's aid and blocks the incoming blast with the use of his symbiote, and before they know it, the androids are several miles away and this distance only increases. "Cowards," Vegeta says, returning to his base form. "I'm going after them," Vegeta says to Trunks, who is beside him. "Fine then, I'll go and heal Goku," Trunks says, flying in the opposite direction. He's reluctant to let Vegeta go off to fight the androids alone, but he knows that he's gotten stronger after he healed his injuries, and he's confident in his abilities. He knows how strong his father is now, but the problem is that he has no clue how strong Android 16 is. Anyway, he can return with Goku to take down the androids if he needs to. Piccolo then goes to fuse with Kami, forming the nameless Namekian once again. Then Imperfect Cell arrives from timeline 3, and this cell has a certain trait that is different. He has a symbiote. His symbiote is like Venom's, but it doesn't make him look like Venom. He has the same appearance as usual, but he's just black in colour and he's much stronger now. As he is absorbing the humans, he's also eating their brains to power his own symbiote. Also, I'd like to add that this isn't really a real symbiote. He doesn't have a second entity talking to him per se, it's just him. He just has the symbiote's powers. It's hard to explain, but imagine that Cell is the host and the symbiote at the same time. Piccolo then touches down in front of Cell with his new form, like in canon. The main problem though is that this version of Cell is many times stronger than the Cell that we know in the canon. Also, I'd like to say that this version of Piccolo is stronger than the canon Piccolo because he went through more grueling training as he had Goku as a sparring partner, thus he ends up being stronger than his canon counterpart in this 3-year training period. He's black. Does he have the power that Goku has? If he does, this will be a problem. "Hello there, Piccolo," Cell says in his odd, creepy voice. Before Piccolo can even say anything, Cell shoots a Kamehameha wave of his own. He clearly sees that it isn't on the level of Goku's Kamehameha waves, and he is able to evade it. He also does so with ease mentally, since he knows that everybody around him is already dead and gone. He no longer has to worry about the surroundings. Cell then speed blitzes him and punches him across the entire street before flying after him. He throws several attacks again, hitting the target with almost all of them. However, Piccolo can block these and is taken aback by his level of strength. Cell eventually stops, then steps back arrogantly. "Do you know that this is my imperfect form? With the power of the androids, I'll reach my true perfect form and destroy you and everybody who stands in my way." Piccolo in reaction takes off his weighted clothing and starts to scream, charging up his ki to reach his full power. The two beings clash and destroy the glass in the buildings around them. They then throw a multitude of different attacks and both showcase great fighting prowess. Piccolo can even see shades of his friend's fighting styles in his opponent's techniques. Cell throws a jab then uppercuts Piccolo. He tries to kick him, but Piccolo blocks and lengthens his right arm to punch Cell in the face. In that same motion, he grabs his head and shortens his arm to pull Cell towards him. As he is coming towards him, he tries to launch a ki blast, but symbiotic mass grows across Cell's right arm. Therefore, he's able to block Piccolo's blast with ease. Piccolo then gets stunned with 2 punches to the face, and then a solar flare to completely daze him. With him in this position, Cell launches his own special beam cannon that goes right through Piccolo's stomach. Blood spurts out from the wound and Piccolo stumbles to a knee after he's been hit with this blast. He coughs blood and slowly looks up to Cell, who towers over him and covers the sun from his view. "Get out of the way," Goku shouts from behind him, fully healed due to antivenom. So Goku here takes the heart virus cure to slowly let him recover, but Future Trunks' symbiote bonded to part of the cure as it was being made. Antivenom was never supposed to exist. He was only supposed to be a modified version of Venom, but since he bonded to the antibodies in the heart virus cure, antivenom was formed. The antibody specifically in the heart virus cure. Antivenom is capable of healing Goku much faster, so he is completely fine now. Piccolo falls to the side and Goku flies right in to hit Cell, as he is a Super Saiyan. This launches Cell away, and since he realizes that he'll literally die if he stays in that location, he uses his solar flare and flies away as fast as he can. Piccolo is healed by Future Trunks with antivenom, and they now look quite concerned. "If Cell absorbs the androids, we're toast," Piccolo says, while he raises up from the ground. Goku then shows a facial expression of clear confusion. He says he wants to absorb the androids to become perfect. That was his imperfect form. Once he absorbs those 2 androids, I think he'll achieve this perfect state he's talking about, Piccolo explains. Now what has changed here is that the group don't actually want to go to the hyperbolic time chamber. Goku is strong enough to take out Cell and Future Trunks isn't that much weaker than 18. Also, Vegeta is at a point now where he's in between the strength of 18 and 17. Thus, he's practically equal to both of them. I imagine 17 isn't that much stronger than 18. Their main plan instead is to stop Cell in his tracks and to stop him absorbing the androids, or to possibly just take them out before Cell can absorb them. Therefore, they can just take out Cell and protect the world. So after this, Dr. Gero's lab is destroyed by Trunks and Krillin, and everyone is tasked with searching around to find Cell. It isn't hard to find the androids as they're confronted directly by Vegeta. The same prince steps ahead of the androids who have set up in a random forest on an island. "Here licking your wounds, are you?" Vegeta asks, walking up to the group with insane levels of confidence. "Maybe, so you came here to die, did you?" Android 17 says with a smile. This just makes Vegeta uncontrollably laugh. "I actually came here for quite the opposite." Vegeta says this while smiling, but his smile then fades. "I'll take you all off the face of this earth with my bare hands. If he destroys the androids, I'll be toast. He feels strong, but I can't send 17 and 18, so I can't tell if he can win or not." This is what Cell is thinking right now, hiding behind a tree adjacent to the confrontation. In canon, Imperfect Cell was initially weaker than Android 17, however, with his symbiote enhancements, he's stronger than Android 17 and Vegeta too. The problem is, if he reveals himself, Goku could swoop in and defeat him if he lets out his ki rashly. The only reason he hasn't been detected so far is because he's been suppressing his strength. Ahead of the android, he powers up into his Super Vegeta form once again, and 17 initiates the battle by flying towards him. Vegeta just flies back with a smile and is faster than him to begin. However, Android 17 increases his speed to full throttle and covers the distance between them swiftly, landing the first attack of their bout. Vegeta kicks him into the air, then launches a ki blast, but 17 blocks the blast as he dives down towards him. He lands two powerful punches in Vegeta's stomach to make him approach the surface of water below them. However, he zooms up and slams into 17 with incredible force, then falls into a power struggle with him. They struggle to overpower each other, and after some time, Vegeta starts to take the upper hand. His raw strength is greater than that of 17's, and his size is evident of that. Unluckily, this is a terrible mistake for Vegeta. As he fights 17 and battles above the waters, Cell slowly approaches Android 18. Both Android 18 and 16 are watching the fight, but 16 then senses an entity approaching them. "There," 16 shouts, pointing in the direction of Cell. However, it's too late and Cell latches right onto Android 18 and absorbs her. After he absorbs her, he ascends into his semi-perfect Cell form, and his transformation catches the attention of both 17 and Vegeta. "What is that weird thing?" Vegeta asks internally, watching it stand boldly at the edge of the island. During this battle, Goku, Trunks and Piccolo are flying together to try and search for Cell. During this event, they feel a sudden jump in ki signature not far from them. "Did you feel that? Who is that?" Piccolo says as he feels the incredible power coming from beside them. The trio dive down towards the location of the jump in ki signature. Goku, who is at the forefront of the group, sees Cell flying towards Android 17. Once he sees this, he punches him away with the most force that he can muster, but all he does is move him like 3 meters away. "He looks different, he's absorbed the female android," Venom states, looking at the new Dark Cell. Vegeta is very confused about what is going on and how this weird being has taken a shot directly from Goku and shrugged it off. "What is that thing?" Vegeta asks, reverting to his base form. "It's a bioorganism with an amalgamation of several people's DNA. It has a symbiote regeneration, your DNA and Saiyan cells, Goku cells, Piccolo cells, Frieza cells, and his father's cells. It's a superorganism," Trunks says, as he's encapsulated in a symbiote. Vegeta knows that with the symbiote, Goku is stronger than him. He would never say it and hates to accept it, but it's a fact that you can't just mask. 17, fly far from here, we'll occupy this guy for you. You have to go now, Trunks shouts, shoving him to begin his escape. It is tough for him to not just slay the android right there and then, but once he sees the human expression in his face, he resists. 17 is confused, but he just flies away and 16 follows him. "You all stop me reaching my true form, I'll destroy you and get the android I deserve," Cell declares, clashing with Goku directly. Trunks tries to enter the fight too, but Vegeta places his hand ahead of him to stop him. "Do you want to break your true Saiyan honor? Like Kakarot fight," Vegeta says, watching the fight himself. Goku throws 2 punches at Cell, but he evades both punches and lands a palm slam on Goku's chest. His black symbiote absorbs a lot of the force, but he's still sent crashing into the water below them. What he notices is that he can breathe just fine as he's under the water. "Don't worry, I can provide oxygen to your body while you're under here. I believe Cell has that same ability too, judging from his dark exterior," Venom says. Cell dives into the water too, and it's evident that he has no problem staying under the water too. Cell punches Goku across the cheek, then throws a few more punches to his face too. Each punch creates waves in the water above, and he shoots Goku through the water by kicking him. Goku's power starts to increase after receiving these devastating attacks, but he really doesn't know how to win. Cell is way stronger than him and faster, so he can't land an attack and is forced to take all of his. Goku then flies right out of the water, facing his opponent in his Super Saiyan form while being covered by venom. He doesn't even get any time to try and think about a strategy, and he's forced to take a powerful kick from Cell. Next, black symbiote mass forms around Cell's left hand to form an enlarged fist, which he uses to punch Goku all the way to the island beside them. If Goku continues to fight Cell at this rate, he'll lose. He knows this, but doesn't exactly know how to beat him. After this, he flies up and above Cell to arrive at the sides of Trunks and Vegeta. "Cowering away are you, Kakarot?" Vegeta says with a chuckle. "Trunks, I don't know how I can beat him. Even with Super Saiyan and Venom, I'm useless," he says, clearly confused. This leads the Saiyans and the symbiotes to come up with a plan. Venom's offspring / counterpart, I'm not sure you can really call Anti-Venom his offspring, but he thinks of something. "It seems that he has some of our abilities, but I don't think he can do everything that we can. If he can, I'm sure that he can't do it as well. He has gained this power artificially, not organically like us. We'll heal your bodies while you also use our shape-shifting ability as much as you can, Anti-Venom declares. As he does this, Trunks reveals a chocolate bar, then he starts to chow down on it. Vegeta, Anti-Venom states, through Trunks' mouth. What do you want, symbiote? Vegeta says. You're gonna need a symbiote. Venom, form an offspring, Anti-Venom says, in reaction. You think I need a symbiote? Vegeta replies, annoyed by this statement. We are in a sticky situation here. If you do not bond to a symbiote, you will be a liability in this battle. As much as your ego wants to say otherwise, you will not be able to grow in strength like my host and Goku over there. We are a power that you require, Anti-Venom explains. Vegeta doesn't reply at first, but he knows that what this symbiote is saying is true. The symbiote is able to make the host, if a Saiyan, be willing to bond to it through simple mind alteration to negate the feature of Saiyan pride. In the end, he decides to bond to a symbiote reluctantly, and Venom is the only one with seeds to form an offspring. Anti-Venom was formed from a remnant of Venom, so he is pretty much an augmented special case of symbiote that doesn't occur in nature. He is basically infertile. He doesn't have any of the seeds required to form an offspring. From Goku's arm, Venom forms a large cluster of symbiote and it starts to rumble slightly. Out of nowhere, a grey symbiote starts to detach from his own, and after a few seconds, a completely new symbiote is formed. This symbiote dives right towards Vegeta and there isn't anything he can do to dodge it. Hello Vegeta, Riot says as he covers Vegeta's body. Vegeta looks reluctant at first, but eventually he looks completely fine with the symbiote across his skin as his mind has been altered. I hope you have all had fun. I'm going to capture my last android, Cell shouts, flying into the distance. In reaction, the three symbiotes Venom, Riot and Anti-Venom charge right after him at full pelt. They're fast, and the fastest symbiote is of course Venom. Vegeta does have the strongest form of Super Saiyan, but he is still much weaker than Goku. Even with the higher multiplier, he cannot match his strength. Cell, using his enhanced vision, scouts out the area and finds Android 18 and 16 hiding in a dense forest. Using his incredible speed, he dives down like a falcon and strikes 18 as soon as he sees her. This causes her to get significantly injured from this one attack alone, and there isn't anything that she can really do to resist him. Cell flies her into the air at least 400 meters up, then begins the absorption. Goku shouts out as he sees this, launching his Kamehameha wave at Cell, who is in the distance. However, he now has a protective shell over his body for the transformation, and once the energy wave hits him, it does relatively no damage. Vegeta then launches his own Big Bang attack that looks silver due to his new influence from Riot. Cell takes this attack again and his transformation completes under his protective shell. A dark, perfect Cell is revealed with a smile. Now, I present to you my perfect form, Perfect Cell, Cell says, darting towards Goku specifically. Before he can land a hit, Goku fortifies his arms with more of his symbiote, and so once the punch lands it does much less damage than intended. However, he can feel that he has become considerably stronger. Goku then grows a blade off his fist and tries to slice Cell with it. Before he can though, Cell evades the swing, then grabs a blade, snapping it off with a simple twist of the wrist. Finally, he dives ahead and stabs the blade into his own chest. Luckily, before it stays in for a while, it disintegrates since it's made of Venom's mass. They continue to fight and Goku is getting completely destroyed. He just doesn't have enough power to face Cell, and Cell seems to be able to do everything that he can in terms of using the symbiote. Goku latches onto Cell with his symbiote, then pulls him towards him while growing a large fist with his other hand. Once he is in proximity, he lands the punch, then releases a bunch of spikes with his free arm. The dark spikes hurl towards Cell, but he uses his own symbiotic powers to block himself from any of the incoming attacks. Cell, using his own symbiote, then launches out a bunch of much larger spikes that also travel much faster. They soar through the air and break through the massive symbiote across Goku's skin like it's a layer of parchment. They stab directly into his body in several locations, making him remember the battle that he had with Carnage and Venom. Goku is then given time to heal and Vegeta charges right past him with Riot. His body encapsulates in the silver symbiotic mass and he enters his Super Vegeta form. His fist grows to an amazingly large size, about the size of his entire chest in height and width. Cell then gets taken aback by the level of strength, and this causes him to fly back once he gets hit by it. Of course, it does little damage since he is still far stronger than Vegeta and Riot. Vegeta then rattles off with a bunch of attacks, but he doesn't land a single hit. Cell just blocks each one with a clear smile on his face. He is obviously having a fun time knowing that all these fighters stand no chance against him. He throws a right straight, but Cell just comes over the top with a punch of his own, landing it on his head. Then he reveals two clawed hands and slashes him in several different places. His slashes are deep, since once he gets his claws to pierce Vegeta's skin, he enlarges the claws to get in deeper. "Retreat now," Riot exclaims as he feels the severe injury that Vegeta has received. "Heal me then," Vegeta shouts in his mind, distressed by the injury. "Oh no, you're not getting healed," Cell says, grabbing Vegeta by the head. Once he does so, he starts to squeeze his head, and he does so with such force that it causes his skull to crack in several places and blood to come out of his eyes and mouth. I can't heal those wounds. Escape now, Riot shouts, growing 2 large spikes of symbiote to stab into Cell in his abdomen. This causes him to roar in annoyance, but then Riot uses this time that he has bought to run away and to retreat. Anti-Venom, Riot shouts, now controlling Vegeta's body. Trunks zooms above Cell and takes his turn in facing the being. He is the weakest in terms of usual strength, but his bond with Anti-Venom is very strong. His bond strength is only second to Goku's bond with Venom. He can harness the most power of his symbiote, and he has the strongest symbiote, so he can get the strongest strength amplification. Trunks and Cell clash head on, and again Cell is having the time of his life. He doesn't even have to try and he can overpower them. The indomitable bio-android just takes down Trunks like he is the other 2 Saiyans, but he leaves him with the worst injury. He does something akin to the Carnage bomb by leaving large scythes in his body, then launching a barrage of devastating ki blasts that blind the fighters near to him. Once the light dies down, Trunks is revealed and he looks like a corpse, only being kept alive by his symbiote. His symbiote's healing speed is efficient and very fast, so the scythes lodged in his torso are thrown out in mere seconds. His body reforms and heals in seconds too, giving him the largest Zenkai of the group entirely. His body grows larger and more muscular, making him look like when he finished his training in canon. His hair is still the same length, but he looks meaner and more full of rage. "The android's already destroyed my world, I won't let you destroy this one," Trunks exclaims, beginning to power up. His Zenkai was so large, and in conjunction with it being an abnormally large Zenkai, he establishes himself as the strongest fighter of the group entirely. He starts to power up and his aura is large and explosive. Cell starts to even look a bit concerned because he can feel his increasing ki signature. Suddenly his hair spikes up even more and he enters his Super Saiyan 2 form. Anti-Venom shows itself again and forms his symbiote suit once again. "You're finished," Trunks says, with Anti-Venom saying this at the same time. Trunks punches Cell in his face, but his opponent throws 2 attacks of his own. Trunks blocks both attacks and throws a double-legged kick that launches Cell downwards. However, he flies behind Cell and grabs onto him forcefully. From afar it looks like some form of hug, but then he releases large spikes from the surfaces of his body that are contacting Cell. His spikes dig in deep, then he chucks him forwards. Finally, he swings his hands around like he's weaving hand signs, then uses his burning attack, launching it right down towards Cell. It lands on him head on, creating a large mushroom cloud explosion. So he is forced to fall back to keep himself from getting injured, and the symbiotes aren't durable against extreme heat and flames. "He did it," Goku says in shock. However, they are surprised to see that once the smoke thins, Cell is in a ball of black symbiote, shielding himself. "How is this possible?" Anti-Venom asks. Out of the ball of symbiote, a large blade zooms out and impales Trunks in his chest. This blade slices through his heart and therefore deals some serious damage. He falls out of Super Saiyan 2 and his symbiote collects around the wound to heal the damaged tissue as quickly as possible. Even though the blade is stabbed through his body, his symbiote is making sure that he basically can't die and that the damage is getting reduced as much as possible. "I thank you," Cell says from inside the disintegrating ball. "You have made me even stronger from that attack you just pulled off. All you have done is made this harder for yourself. I hope you're happy," Cell claims, making his symbiote fall under his skin. "He couldn't beat him. We must slay this beast or our world is done," Venom states, getting Goku ready for battle. Goku enters Super Saiyan Grade 1 and he dives down to try and fight Cell. Before he can even throw his clenched fist, he is forced to take a punch right to his stomach. It feels like his intestines are about to explode once he feels the strike. "I'll heal you. Continue to battle," Venom shouts, making Goku already feel his increase in power. They continue to battle and Goku is getting pieced up the entire time. I mean, he has the most basic form of Super Saiyan as his strongest form, and he is weaker than Trunks. He isn't much weaker than him, but since Trunks has Super Saiyan 2, he can become much stronger than him. However, as he's fighting, he's getting stronger. Each attack and each time he gets beat down, he comes back stronger and Venom can feel it. "We are getting stronger, we are getting closer," Venom says, urging on his host to continue fighting. Goku throws a punch that looks very sluggish to Cell, and he can land 3 attacks in the time that it takes Goku to throw just 1. Then he lands a single punch, launching the bioorganism downwards. Goku dives down after him and tries to punch him again, but once he slugs his fist forward, Cell evades the attack by elegantly swiveling around it. Finally, he lands a punch of his own that launches Goku through several trees. He lands in a bright glade of the forest and Cell lands right ahead of him. Their need for power is dire. Venom knows this and their increase in power just isn't fast enough for them to surpass Cell. Also, what's going to stop Cell from getting a Zenkai of his own and growing stronger than them? He has Saiyan cells from many Saiyans after all. Goku realizes this, and in this sheer need for power he snaps. He engulfs in a pressurizing aura and his power starts to rise. His scream sounds like a scream of rage and desperation. If he needs power to save the world and to save his friends, he needs the power and he needs it now. Goku then enters his new powerful Super Saiyan 2 form. Electricity crackles in his aura and his power has doubled. With his Zenkai he also gets more than twice as strong. "This is our chance, take him out now," Venom shouts, making Goku charge right at Cell. He launches several spikes out by throwing out extensions of his symbiote with sharp ends. They pierce through Cell in several places, and from his arms he makes several symbiote appendages. Cell tries to hit him, but Goku swerves behind him with his newfound speed. He then throws 2 haymakers right to his back and then shoots out 2 scythes through his chest, making Cell cough up blood. Instead of pulling them out, he keeps the scythe wedged in his chest and throws out a wave of black tough spikes. Some of them even go right through his body. Goku continues to use his symbiote to give Cell grave injuries. Also, he knows that symbiotes are susceptible to heat and flames, and so he takes a swift step back to release a bunch of explosive ki blasts. "Everyone blast him," Venom shouts, making the trees rustle with his extremely loud voice. Cell stumbles, coughing out blood with the symbiote spikes in his body. He then looks up to see the 2 other Saiyans aiming blasts at him. Down next to him, Goku is charging his Kamehameha wave. Vegeta's final flashes silver crackles of electricity within it, and Trunks is preparing to launch a full power energy wave. The beams combine into an ultra powerful beam of energy clashing into Cell. There is nothing that he can do to resist it, and the blast damages the symbiote inside the heat of the blast. It burns and scorches away, also destroying his flesh since his symbiote is pretty much a part of him. I've already said this, but he isn't 2 organisms living in the same body, but just Cell with symbiote powers. His flesh also gets destroyed and burned, destroying every single cell in his body. There is no chance of him to recover from this blast, and he is reduced to nothing. The forest is destroyed in the explosion, and the area is pretty much flattened. Steam is emitted from the area and the Saiyans all return to their base forms. Their wounds get healed, but they still feel exhausted. They can't really heal that because they don't have energy. Their symbiotes have taken a lot of their stamina to heal their wounds, but then they each get a sensu beam from Krillin, who arrives in front of them. They then heal, and this brings the Cell saga to an end. They've done what they needed to do, and future Trunks just returns to his timeline with the power that he has now. What has changed in this timeline is that Android 16 is still alive. He still has the self-destruction bomb, but they explore Dr. Gero's lab and retrieve his blueprints. Android 16's mind is reprogrammed, and he just becomes an ally to the team. He is a completely mechanical android, and he doesn't really have anything to do in the 7-year time skip. So he is at Capsule Corp and works as maintaining security there and in the cities. During this time, Goku and Vegeta both train while strengthening their symbiotes. Right eats chocolate and their bonds grow stronger and stronger during this time skip. Initially, Gohan doesn't move away from training to study. He continues to train with his father, and during this training he receives his very own symbiote. This symbiote is none other than the yellow/orange symbiote Phage. This symbiote allows for him to grow stronger much faster in their training, and so Gohan gets stronger really fast. He reaches his Cell Saga level of strength in about 8 months and continues to train for a few years. His symbiote Phage makes him train for a lot longer than in the canon timeline, but as he gets older the workload from school increases and he has to put more time into it. He trains very lightly as Goku and Phage encourage him to do so. However, Phage is fine with acknowledging that Gohan wants to pursue his career instead of training to protect the Earth. Also, Vegeta continues to train and trains with Goku very frequently. Once Gohan stops training, Vegeta starts training with him even more, and they start to be friendly rivals instead of enemies. I mean, if you spend almost every day with someone for 7 years, you're bound to gain a strong connection to them. They are both capable of Super Saiyan 3, Gohan can use Super Saiyan 2. Since some of the other Earthlings want more power, other Sea Fighters get symbiotes. The 2 people who are willing to get symbiotes are Krillin and Piccolo. Piccolo receives the symbiote Lasha, and Krillin receives a symbiote that is the offspring of Phage, which is called Mayhem. This symbiote also gets some extra modification from Bulma. This is because he asks and Mayhem agrees, since she basically just makes the symbiote stronger. Mayhem is a special symbiote that I made since Riot never has an offspring. Mayhem, after the amplifications, becomes very strong and is on par with symbiotes like Carnage. Just before we get into the Buu saga, I'll quickly go over the rankings for the symbiotes. The weakest symbiote is Lasha. He's a new offspring and just isn't on the level of his father and siblings. The next weakest symbiote is Phage. Phage is only slightly weaker than Riot. Third place then goes to Riot. Second place goes to Venom, a pretty strong symbiote that doesn't have to rely on phenethylamine to survive. First is Mayhem, a modified symbiote and the grandchild of Venom. So at the World Tournament, the event starts to change once Gohan steps up to face Kibito. Goten and Trunks don't receive symbiotes and their fight is as a result pretty much the same. Gohan is still attacked by Spopovich and Yamu, who drain his energy. Phage is smart enough to let this happen as they can track down the fighters as they escape. He is still quite drained after this event, but Phage makes this effect much duller. Also, he ends up getting back up to normal energy levels quite quickly. Goku, Krillin, Piccolo, Gohan and Vegeta, like in the canon, all fly off to help him. This time, Goku advises Videl to stay back at the tournament, being said to do so by Phage. Also, these 5 people all have symbiotes, and so 5 symbiotes soar across the sky behind Supreme Kai. So, Earth has learned to form symbiotic relationships with Clintar's symbiotes, Kai says. This makes Venom quite excited as he says the name of his home planet that was destroyed. You know about Clintar? Venom asks, asking through Goku. Yes, of course, we watched that planet explode. There aren't many of you left, but it seems that you survived. Once they arrive, Dabra's fight with the group ends up being quite different to the canon timeline. All the Saiyans land and hide their symbiotes as they watch what happens at this mysterious spaceship. Then Dabra reveals himself and raises his hand to blast Kibito. However, Krillin blocks the incoming attack with mayhem and is able to take the brunt of the blast. The smoke clears and Vegeta is the first most willing to take on Dabra. Spit flies towards him, but he just swerves around it with amazing speed. Still in his base form and without the use of his symbiote, he kicks Dabra down to the ground. I must say now that Vegeta and Goku are much stronger than their canon counterparts. When Vegeta was just training on his own in canon, he wouldn't have been able to grow as strong as fast without a sparring partner slightly stronger than himself. Also, he has the symbiote to heal his wounds much faster and give him Zenkai boost in tough, bloody battles. Dabra can take this kick though. Vegeta's still in his base form and thus he can't output that much force. However, he screams and powers up into his Super Saiyan form. His power increases 50-fold and he then begins the battle again. His fist coats in his silver symbiote and then he punches Dabra into the rock beneath him. He creates a small crater with his single punch, but Dabra uses this chance to shoot his deadly spit. However, Riot breaks off a small part of itself to coat the spit entirely. Riot is smart enough to surmise that something must be off with his spit, since it would be such a weird thing to just do in battle. Just as Riot thought, something odd does happen and his symbiote turns to stone. What a power, Vegeta thinks, kicking Dabra into the air. As Dabra soars into the air, Vegeta's right hand coats across his skin and he launches his Super Big Bang attack. This blast hits Dabra and creates a very large explosion, which even causes the other fighters to fall back. As the smoke clears, Dabra is nowhere to be seen and he has retreated to the spaceship. So, the rest of the fighters enter the spaceship and begin going down the levels. Vegeta in this continuity wins the rock paper scissors and is up first against Pui Pui. They travel to his home planet and since he has a gravity chamber back at his house, he has no problem facing him in his 10 times gravity. This time, Riot wants to get a go to battle himself, and so the tall, muscly symbiote takes form. This form scares Pui Pui, but he believes that he can still win since he is on a planet with stronger gravity. He powers up and charges towards Riot, who just creates 2 large spikes on his fists. He slashes Pui Pui twice, making him stand in place in shock. His movements don't seem to have been hindered at all. He then collapses one of the blades and slashes Pui Pui once again before launching a final white energy wave. The next fighter, Yukon, gets overpowered too by Goku. The fight that does change quite significantly is the battle between Gohan and Dabra. Gohan faces Dabra in the mountainous area that Babidi teleported them to, and Dabra is confident in himself. His confidence increases once Gohan fights him in his base form. He powers up and gains a cool silver aura as he towers over Dabra. What is different about his appearance is that he has muscle mass. He hasn't completely stopped training, and when he was 15 or so, he was even larger than he is now. Gohan charges in and throws a heavy hitting punch, but Dabra takes it head on and throws 2 quick punches of his own. He throws a kick to his stomach, but Gohan is able to remain okay as he uses his phage symbiote to block the kick. Dabra just flies after him, but Gohan aims up and launches his Masenko blast. Dabra gets hit with the energy wave head on, but he takes little damage from it. Think you're strong? You're nothing like that other Saiyan, Dabra confidently says. I'm not. Well, I haven't been taking this serious lately, but did you think this was the strongest I could go? You saw Super Saiyan, right? Gohan says. His eyes then go from black to blue and his hair switches to gold. His aura changes to that same colour too and he transforms into a Super Saiyan with a powerful roar. This form scares Dabra slightly, but he doesn't want to cower away and so he flies directly towards the Super Saiyan anyway. His first 2 attacks are very telegraphed and Gohan swerves past each of them relatively easily. After this attack, he's forced to take a punch to the gut and the Demon King is then launched away with a hook to the side of his head. He crashes through a mountain, but then Gohan continues laying out on him with his new power and then he encapsulates himself in his phage symbiote. He looks far more menacing now and Dabra can only imagine how much stronger he's become. He lands a single gut punch which is a jab, but Dabra coughs blood in reaction. He also curls over from the punch and Gohan just chuckles once he sees this. Looks like you didn't see anywhere near Vegeta's full power either. He could have killed you in seconds, Gohan says, swiveling to knock Dabra out with a back kick to the head. He hesitates before killing him due to his pure heart, just like his father, but he decides to do so since he knows that it's right. He powers up into his Super Saiyan 2 form and launches his Hyper Masenko attack. Dabra is killed in the blast and he returns to his base form. Your stamina has dwindled significantly, Gohan. I feel that you have lost a concerning amount of energy just after that one attack, Phage says. It makes Gohan a little bit sad to see that he isn't as strong as he used to be, but he knows that he has other ambitions now. Yeah, but I can't keep training at that level forever with this new life of mine. It takes a lot of time away from me, Gohan explains. You still could be doing a lot more than you do. Anyway, you are still strong enough to deal with threats like this though. Once Gohan is transported back to the spaceship, Babidi tries to take over Vegeta's mind. What goes different here is that Riot is aware of this and doesn't want to give in to the mind control. Vegeta, there is a magician attempting to warp your mind. I can easily resist this, Riot explains. Do what you must, Vegeta says, which makes the crowd a little surprised. What happened? Goku asks. A magician? I assume it's this Babidi you speak of to try to take over my mind. I don't know why. That kid already released enough energy to activate Buu. What a surprise, Babidi thinks, as the sealed ball opens. He transfers everyone in the ship and Buu to the outside of the ship so they can be defeated by the newly awakened Majin Buu. The fat warrior reveals himself and everyone is quite surprised by his appearance. Goku is fighting him first since he's the only guy that hasn't got a good fight yet. Venom, what's up with this guy? Goku asks, but Venom doesn't give an immediate reply. This being is known as Majin Buu. He was known and infamous on Clintar. He has a lot of the abilities of a symbiote and thus we were quite interested with it as a society. Symbiotes aren't the most benevolent people in the universe, but we know that Buu was not a good person. It has absorption abilities like us and it can heal from almost any injury. Venom's heard of the being before and so he's able to give Goku some advice on how to defeat it. Also, it keeps him wary of just diving into battle rashly. So I'll have to face this thing at near full power from the jump then. Well, let's begin, Goku says, hyped up to fight. The rocks around him rise and float as he tries to power up. His eyes switch to blue as he ascends into his Super Saiyan form, but he pushes further and enters the Super Saiyan 2 state. His aura flows around him with lightning crackling inside of it. Next, his body coats in the Venom symbiote and his muscles slightly enlarge as this happens. Let's go, Goku shouts, zooming across the battlefield to then take on Buu. His first punch almost destroys its entire head, then he throws a few more punches before launching a bunch of ki blasts. Buu's shape becomes rather deformed after this combination of punches and ki blasts, but it returns to its ordinary state with ease. Goku then aims forward with a knee, but Buu dodges. To stop him, Goku launches out his symbiote from his left arm and it latches right onto his opponent. He is then pulled towards him, but the part of Buu that he is latching onto literally falls off his body so he can be set free. This part of his body then even tries to absorb Goku, but Venom does the same thing to save him. To kill that detached part of him, Goku blasts it to smithereens. What a weird fighter, Goku comments to himself internally, looking at the pink smiling warrior. In Super Saiyan 2, there isn't much that Goku can do to face Majin Buu. He is stronger than him, but you just can't stop him from regenerating and coming back. It's the same with him, where he regenerates after Majin Buu deals damage to him. And since he is stronger than Majin Buu, this isn't exactly a near-death battle, so he isn't receiving Zenkais as he heals. Oh well, we won't beat him like this. Let's up this to full power, Goku says, screaming as he powers up. His aura enlarges and so does his hair. His energy destroys the rock around him while making the other fighters surprised about how strong he is. With Venom, his scream is like a demonic roar and it creates a vibration that runs through his feet and into the earth below him. He releases a large bright light and he reaches Super Saiyan 3. He then soars across the ground and punches Buu through a pile of rock. He then releases a lot of large venom spikes that stab into Buu in several places. Next, he zooms ahead and forms two massive fists, using them to throw a multitude of punches. Each one lands and destroys a certain mass of Buu, while also destroying the area around him. He strikes and gives off a devilish shout as he throws these punches, using the symbiote to amplify each strike to the maximum. With the final haymaker, he destroys the area around him and forms a very large crack in the ground. Buu looks incredibly deformed now, and Goku warily grabs the collection of mass to launch it into the air. Some of Buu's body sticks to his hand, and so Venom detaches a part of himself to render that part of Buu useless. This therefore prevents Goku getting absorbed. He starts to charge his Super Kamehameha wave, and the ground around him rumbles upon him charging this attack. He's using his most powerful attack. I recommend we get out of the area, Vegeta says, with Riot's voice to project it to the people around him. We have to go, Goten whispers to Trunks while they secretly watch this battle. The fighters escape and fly several hundreds of meters away and continue to fly away. Isn't that just his usual Kamehameha? Why is it so strong? Krillin wonders as they fly away. Krillin's limbs are covered in symbiote and he's doing so to make himself fly faster. Look at him, Baldy. He uses the maximum output of our symbiote and has perfected his Kamehameha wave. It's almost as strong as my strongest attack, Vegeta says with a smile. Goku is engulfed in a bright golden aura and from afar he looks like a star. He launches the beam and Buu gets hit by the blast right on. It enlarges once it touches Buu and engulfs the pink being. Buu is scorched and destroyed under this destructive energy and he starts to break apart the being, and under the heat of the blast, Buu is totally destroyed. This shocks Babidi. He was already flown away, but before he can escape, someone arrives in front of him. Where do you think you're going? Piccolo asks, growing a right arm with his Lasher symbiote. Spare me please, I will never do wrong again, Babidi pleads, as he sees the end of his life is near. Sorry, but I don't trust you, Piccolo says, blasting him to smithereens. So, since Goku is many times stronger than his canon self at this point, I believe that this is a plausible way to end the saga. If I was to put a number on it, I'd say that he is about 40 times stronger than he is in canon. That is when he uses his symbiote for enhancements too. So, a lot of things don't happen. Gotenks can never form in the first place because Goku never dies to learn Metamorian fusion. Also, Kid Buu or Super Buu never form. 6 months later, a certain someone has woken up from a long slumber and desires to find the astonishing warrior that he had dreamt of, a warrior that could give him the battle he has dreamed of for centuries. Whis and Beerus then travel to Earth. They are at Bulma's party and Vegeta is surprised to see Beerus arrive on the ship. Who is this guy? Goku asks Venom. I'm not sure, he seems to be some form of godlike being. They used to talk about it on Clintar, but I think there are certain gods that run the universe. I think this is them, Venom explains. Where is my Super Saiyan god? Beerus asks them, walking to the crew. Who are you? Gohan asks, walking up towards him. Do not talk to me in such a tone, boy. I can swat you like a fly and do the same to your planet, Beerus says, locking eyes with him. Gohan doesn't back down though and transforms into a Super Saiyan form. He launches forward an orange piece of symbiote toward him in the form of a blade. Beerus grabs it before it even touches him, then he finger flicks Gohan off the ship. Beerus, Vegeta says from the crowd of people, surprising them as he knows his name. Ah, Vegeta, King Vegeta's son, what a surprise, your friends are exceptionally rude. I have heard that there is a Super Saiyan God, and if you people do not have the Super Saiyan God, I will destroy this planet and ultimately everyone on it. Beerus then opens his palm to prepare to launch a planet-busting attack. However, the entire situation is settled down after they explain how they can use Shenron to try and get him what he wants. So this is what they do, and Goku is still up to inherit the power of the Super Saiyan God. Therefore, he does so and receives the power of the Super Saiyan God. After he receives this godly form, his orange gi switches to a black one as he is enveloped in the power of Venom. His Venom form is far slimmer than the other forms, and Venom is far more empowered by this god ki that he possesses, so his multiplier from Venom is even higher. What a strikingly powerful form. Whis, did you say that he was a symbiote? Beerus asks, in awe of the form. Yes, these symbiotes are from the planet Clintar that you loaned out to get destroyed decades ago. Ah yes, Clintar symbiotes. One tried to bond to me but I killed it right away, Beerus says, as he watches Goku enveloped in this dark symbiote. Why cover the majestic aesthetics of your new form with that wretched symbiote, Beerus says, descending. It makes me stronger, and with this god ki I might even be a contender against your strength, Goku says ambitiously. This makes Beerus chuckle before he glows in his Fury State aura. Shall we begin? Goku shouts and reveals his enlarged tongue while also erupting in the powerful fiery god aura. He clashes with the god before kicking him into the air and flying up to try and attack him. However, Beerus swerves past both punches that come his way. Goku shouts and cocks back his right fist before slugging it forwards while enlarging it with Venom's black goo. It almost hits Beerus, but at the last second he swivels over the punch and shoots down a kick to his head. This launches Goku into the water below him, but he decides to stay under so that he can maybe have an advantage against him. Beerus is surprised about how he can survive under the water, but he then remembers the symbiote and correctly surmises that it's playing a role in him surviving underwater. Anyway, he dives right in and throws a knee into Goku's stomach that pushes back the water around him so that he can breathe again. Next, Goku receives two devastating punches to the gut and gets kicked into the air. Beerus flies up with insane speed and kicks him so that he blasts through a cloud and into the upper areas of the sky. Goku, even with this new form, is still too weak and Beerus is having a field day with him. Goku only lands attacks when Beerus wants him to, but if Beerus is even slightly serious, he can wipe the floor with him. Now, both these fighters are in the lower levels of space and both are doing fine. This surprises Beerus, but they just continue fighting and Goku still has no chance in beating him. Goku falls back slightly then starts to power up as much as he can, charging his full power Kamehameha wave. With the use of Venom, he can make the attack much more powerful if he concentrates his symbiote into his arms and hands. His aura intensifies also and he forms waves of ki from where he is. You are one of the strongest opponents I have fought in a while, I commend you, Saiyan, Beerus says, before speed blitzing him and landing the strongest punch he has thrown in their entire fight. It lands square on his face and the ball of blue energy that he has been forming vaporizes and crumbles. He returns to his base form and this quick shot knocks him out. You did good, Goku, Beerus says, stopping him from falling by grabbing his torn gi. Goku unconsciously holds onto his arm with his symbiote arm and then Whis appears next to Beerus. Seconds later, Venom allows him to return to consciousness. Would you say it's like some training, Whis asks, impressed by their abilities. Of course, I'm sure Vegeta will like to come too, Goku says. So after this, Beerus decides to spare the planet of Earth for now, and the two Saiyans go off planets to try and train with the gods. Vegeta takes a capsule of just chocolate because he wants to make sure that Riot won't just shrivel away and die while he's away on Beerus' planet. Some more time passes, the time between Battle of Gods and Resurrection F, and they both gain access to Super Saiyan Blue. Their symbiotes are also getting used to the God Key and they get imbued with it and actually give Goku and Vegeta much larger multipliers as the symbiotes get stronger too. What I'm trying to say is that with ordinary Key, symbiotes give around the 5 times multiplier for example. The multiplier of course varies, but let's just say the symbiote multiplier is 5 times. With ordinary Key it's 5 times, but then with God Key the multiplier can increase past that to maybe 10 or 15 times. That's for when the symbiote is being used in the exact same way. So not only do the Saiyans get multipliers, the symbiotes get multipliers, and thus the Saiyans get even bigger multipliers. I'd say Super Saiyan Blue Goku with Venom as his symbiote is more than 100 times stronger than his canon counterpart at this same point in time. Also, it's quite a change for the Saiyans as they're used to fighting with their strength and fighting as basically savages, since this is how the symbiotes fight. However, with this concept of Ultra Instinct, they must throw that away and control their mind, and to allow them to fight in a more graceful, controlled manner. On Earth, the fighters are still attacked by Frieza and his army. This time Piccolo is at the forefront of the group as his symbiote gives him some pretty neat abilities. Also, Krillin has the ability to heal other people with his symbiote mayhem, just like Anti-Venom. Piccolo arrives to the scene with his symbiote and takes out 3 soldiers at once with his symbiote tentacles alone. They have sharp appendages and they just pierce through the soldiers. Someone tries to come in from behind him to attack him, but he dodges the punch without even looking at it. Finally, he lands a single punch to his chest and kills the guy with the attack alone. Krillin launches a bunch of destructive discs that slice through a lot of the soldiers, and he uses his solar flare to temporarily stun a lot of the fighters. Where's Gohan, Piccolo wonders, launching his light grenade attack to destroy a lot of the soldiers. From beside Krillin, nearly 100 soldiers are dead and he has no clue who has done it. Above them, they then hear a scream. Gohan powers up into his Super Saiyan form and he is a lot more muscular than he was in the canon timeline at this point. This is of course because he was training in the 7-year time skip, not for all of it but just for some of it. His phage symbiote heavily slows the decline in strength that he gains from stopping his training. Gohan, Krillin says in astonishment. Gohan soars across the ground and aims right for 10 soldiers, destroying them with a single Masenko. Then he enters hand-to-hand combat with several soldiers at once and he is completely ripping through the few hundred soldiers that are left. 3 soldiers charge toward him and try to punch him simultaneously. However, he slips past all 3 punches and takes out 1 soldier, taking out the other 2 with a ki blast. His fighting now is like Naruto level taijutsu, he is just shredding through the warriors. He is still stronger than Iselke himself, and so he is definitely the strongest person on Earth. With Phage, he is an incredibly formidable opponent. He pulls 5 soldiers toward him and stabs into them all with tentacles. With the final soldier, he punches them into the ground and forms a very large crack. You've grown a lot from the boy that I killed on Namek. Let's see how strong you really are, Frieza says, ordering Shisami and Tagoma to attack him. Shisami attacks him first, but Gohan is easily handling himself. Shisami charges at him and throws a right straight, but Gohan swerves past it, landing a kick that launches him into the air. Gohan then flies directly toward him, but at the last second he swerves around him to knee Shisami directly into his back that launches him into the ground. Tagoma flies back towards him to allow Shisami to slowly recollect himself, and Gohan still has a field day with him. Shisami comes in with a bunch of punches and kicks, but all of these attacks are easily managed. Tagoma tries to throw a left hook as he flies forwards, but Gohan ducks under the punch and lands an uppercut to his gut. He then punches him in the side of his face and kicks him back tens of meters. He then charges forward at full throttle and lands a full power strike that knocks him out once it lands. Shisami is the only fighter left and he is very scared as his comrade got destroyed in just a few attacks. Fear quite frankly overwhelms his body, but the fear of Frieza is even more overwhelming, and so he screams as he charges forward towards Gohan. "You want to go?" Gohan asks his symbiote. Of course. Gohan enlarges and engulfs in an orange symbiote, screaming with a high-pitched, devilish scream. Phage cracks the ground as he leaps forward and shatters his armor with a single punch. Before he can get propelled backwards, he is stopped by Phage latching onto his suit with its orange mass. Finally, spikes get released from the point of contact between them, already putting Shisami on his last leg. Finally, Phage lifts him up, then slams him into the ground to kill him. "You're much stronger than before, kid. However, I am too," Frieza says, leaping out of his pod. "Your stamina is fading, Gohan," Phage says. "Keep going, we're way stronger than Frieza ever was. How much stronger could he really be?" Gohan asks, this time being the one with the internal voice. Frieza begins running towards Phage, but Goku appears in between the 2 fighters. Goku in his base form just grabs Frieza's fist and stops him in his tracks. "Phage, you're good. I'll take it from here," Goku says. "But I wanted to fight." "I can sense how strong you are, so I'll let you off," Phage says, returning Gohan to his original form. He returns to his base form and Gohan is in a panic since he has overexerted himself. On one knee, he takes out a chocolate bar and starts eating it for himself, but primarily for his symbiote. And that's why he's just carrying chocolate everywhere. "You've been off training for too long, your power is dwindling," Goku says, kicking Frieza through his pod. "There's no need for you to fight me in the state that you're in now. Enter your final form before you fight me," Goku orders. "Do you think you won't need your final form either?" Frieza says. Frieza enters his final form and Goku doesn't even move. "I won't need to transform to face you," Goku replies, flying into the air. Frieza follows after him and they both face each other hundreds of meters in the air. Frieza takes the initiative to fight him first and Goku takes the first punch. Once he feels it, he just smiles and kicks his opponent back at full power. Next he charges after him and throws 2 punches right to his head, which makes blood already come out of his mouth. Frieza makes several backflips and falls back a few meters before trying to hit him with a few death beams. However, Goku uses instant transmission to dodge all the beams, appearing behind Frieza to blast him. This single blast sends Frieza flying forwards and flipping uncontrollably. To finish off, he zooms into the air and blasts through a cloud with his speed and aura. Frieza can't even control his movements and he just continues to flip and fly up, but then Goku shoots him down with a punch that launches him into the side of a rock hill. Goku then slowly descends down to Frieza, who is furious that Goku is so much stronger than him. However, he screams like in Dragon Ball Super Broly and enters his Golden Frieza form. This shocks Goku and he stops in his descent once he feels the incredibly pressuring ki coming from the area. "Transform or you will die. He has gained an insanely large multiplier to his strength. I recommend using your new strongest form," Venom says. "I think I should too," Goku says as blue shards of ki float up across his body. His hair raises and he starts shouting, and in a few seconds he enters his Super Saiyan Blue form. Frieza is angry now, unlike the canon story, and he just flies right towards Goku to face him once again. They trade blows for a time and they seem to be equal since Goku isn't going full on at all. Frieza throws a punch but Goku ducks right under it with a smile on his face. Frieza thinks that he's fast enough to land such a hit on him, but he is completely wrong. It shocks him briefly that he was able to dodge this attack so easily, but he just throws another jab. Goku parries the hit and throws an alarmingly strong punch to his stomach. This causes him to curl right over and cough out spit and blood. Goku then throws 2 haymakers that both land on his face and leave him with agonizing bruises. His breathing intensifies and he feels nothing but shock and rage. Even after all of his training, it seems that Goku can defeat him without the symbiote that he had saw before. "How can I be weaker than you again? I have achieved the ultimate form," Frieza shouts. "I know, however I'm still stronger, Frieza," Goku says, coating himself in his Venom symbiote. His symbiote has a shinier exterior and emits white crystal-like energy particles. Frieza takes this chance to launch a death beam, but the symbiote is strong and takes the brunt of the sharp hot beam's damage. This means that Goku receives relatively no damage. Goku then beats down on Frieza, launching him into a rock hill below them. "Kakarot, my turn is now, I get to finish this," Vegeta says in his descent towards Frieza. Goku agrees and returns to his base form, then flies back to let him get the battle that he wants. In his face, Vegeta enters his Super Saiyan Blue form and slams Frieza onto the rock wall by launching out his symbiote fist into his chest. He coughs blood then falls out of his golden form that he can't even maintain anymore. "You can only hold the form for this long? It seems that you gained this form and came running here before you even learned how to control it," Vegeta says, walking up to Frieza slowly but powerfully. Frieza doesn't even reply at first because what he is saying is true, but he is furious that he is about to lose to the Saiyans once again. "You destroyed the planet that I was destined to rule. You deserve nothing but death, Frieza." Frieza smiles once he sees this happen, then he digs his hand into the ground below them. Before he can even begin the destruction of the planet, Vegeta blasts him dead and his corpse just lays on the rock wall that he was ahead of. His body slowly slides down it, leaving a trail of blood, then Vegeta returns to his base form as the job is done. After this, since Frieza is dead and dealt with, the universe prepare for the Universe 6 saga. Majin Buu doesn't exist in this what if now since he got blasted to smithereens, and so Majin Buu is replaced by none other than Gohan. He doesn't have his ultimate form or divine training, but he trained for some of the 7-year time skip between the Cell saga and the Buu saga, and he also has Phage on top of that. This makes him quite a good fighter, and they head to the arena for the actual battle. The first fight is still between Goku and Botamo. "I know this species. This enemy is almost impervious to blunt damage. Do not try to punch him or attack him in that manner. I recommend just pushing him out of bounds," Venom says in his mind as he faces Botamo. "Well, alright then," Goku says, darting forwards to latch onto Botamo's waist. It confuses him since it's quite a weird way for someone to begin a fight, since he thinks that it's a hug, but he feels himself getting lifted off his feet and in no time he is thrown right off the ring and eliminated. For the next match, Goku is against Frost. To begin, Venom lets him feel him out and figure out how strong he really is. Goku starts in his basic Super Saiyan form and charges towards the currently first form Frost. They clash and Frost is literally held right across the ring. The force from this slam is very high and Frost is forced to take far more damage since he's in such a heavily suppressed form. "I know that this isn't one of your strongest forms. I'll let you transform," Goku says, stopping himself in his tracks. Frost then nods politely, then transforms into his third form, which isn't actually his final form. He charges right back towards Goku, but the Saiyan swerves past each one of his attacks. He then enters Super Saiyan 2 and lands a single punch to his chest that rattles his internal organs. "I know this isn't your final form either. Transform," Goku says, dropping his fist. Frost then screams and charges his ki, breaking the physical shelling on his body to reveal his slimmer, sleeker final form. It looks akin to Frieza's final form, and Goku now knows that he is at his full power. Frost darts towards him with his heightened speed, and he doesn't use any suppressions like Frieza did on Namek. He goes right in at 100% power. Well, this is 50%, but this is the highest level of strength before he starts to buff up into his full power mode. He throws forward a punch, but Goku catches his fist and dodges a kick that comes for his face. Frost continues by throwing 2 quick punches before landing a ki blast to his stomach. It explodes and Goku slides back a few meters, but Frost rattles off with even more ki blasts to try and subdue him. The explosions grow large and cover most of the arena, but once the smoke clears, Goku is revealed to be fine and healthy. There's no way, I'll have to use my poison, Frost concludes. Goku, now in his Super Saiyan God form, speed blitzes Frost and forms a larger fist to throw a heavy hitting strike onto his chest. This specific strike launches Frost right off the arena and he is taken out, causing the next contestant to head to the ring. This contestant is Vegeta. Goku returns to his Super Saiyan form and dives right in towards Vegeta, but a wave of lava is shot towards him. In reaction, Venom blocks some of it, but the extreme heat causes some significant damage. Goku then flies over the next wave of lava and connects with his opponent through a kick to the side of its face. The knee is loud and strong, but Vegeta still tanks the attack. This somewhat shocks Goku, but he doesn't let it get to him and he rattles off with a bunch of punches. Again, Vegeta takes each one, then shoots out a wave of small balls of burning, scorching lava. Goku jumps right over the entire wave of flames and finally he launches his Kamehameha as he enters flight. The blast soars down towards Vegeta, who also tanks the blast head on. What sort of durability is this? He doesn't even seem that powerful, Goku says in confusion. I don't know this species, but just increase your power. Use your godly form in my symbiote and I think we will be able to win this battle. He enters Super Saiyan God and encapsulates himself in the Dark Venom symbiote. He grows slightly taller and much more muscular too, then he dives right ahead to face Vegeta. His first punch is much more powerful than any punch he has thrown before and Vegeta slides right back to the edge of the ring. In succession, he throws 2 more punches then spins around to land a powerful straight kick that launches the large robot right off the ring. Even without insulting him, he's able to win the match. With a single person, Universe 7 have already destroyed a lot of the members of Universe 6's team, leaving just Cabba and Hit. Vegeta hasn't got a chance to fight, and so he orders Goku to forfeit so that he can get a chance to fight. With Vegeta, I'd say the fight with Cabba and him goes pretty much the same. He urges Cabba on to gain access to Super Saiyan, but he is still taken out and eliminated. Also, Cabba's base is weaker than Vegeta's base since he is stronger in this continuity. The final match, Vegeta vs Hit, is a heated one. Both fighters face each other and just their stances show how strong they are. So, you're the strongest in Universe 6. We'll show you our true strength, Riot says, through Vegeta's mouth. Who's we? Hit asks, in a monotonous way. We are Riot, Vegeta says, engulfing in the symbiote to reveal the large, bulky form of Riot. His large tongue moves around like a tail, then he uses Vegeta's Super Saiyan God form to empower himself. He engulfs in a fiery red aura and Vegeta's in Super Saiyan God, but Riot is in control of his body and with God Ki the symbiote is even more powerful too. Since Riot has gotten stronger with the God Ki, I'd say that this Super Saiyan God state is similar to Super Saiyan Blue when Vegeta isn't using the symbiote. Riot zooms ahead and clashes with Hit, who is taken aback by his demonic looking form. Riot fights in a completely different way to Vegeta or to even Venom. Venom uses a far more defensive way of fighting while he uses a more brazen warrior-like fighting style, and this is evident to all of Universe 7. Riot throws down a hefty downwards punch, but Hit is able to evade it by stepping out of the way at the last second. The arena floor cracks and falls under the force of this strike, then Hit throws out a kick that Riot swerves out of the way of. Next, Riot stands firm in place and launches a mouth blast right towards Hit, which seemingly hits him and eliminates him. However, Hit is revealed to be beside Riot and he lands a punch right to his side. This launches him back and Riot is quite confused about how he has managed to do this. There is no way he dodged that attack. I didn't even see him move. What's going on? Riot wonders. Who blocks the second attack from Hit? I don't know and I don't care. Let's destroy this guy, Vegeta says, powering up into his Super Saiyan Blue form. Now 50 times stronger, Riot is more powerful than Kaioken times 20 Goku by a large margin. Of course, when I say Kaioken times 20 Goku, I'm referring to the Goku from the canon timeline. The aura that's emitted from this Riot form is destructive and explosive as he is using such high amounts of power. He just chuckles as he reveals his large tongue and fangs while also striking fear into Hit simultaneously. Hit uses his time skip to enter close quarters with Riot and he leaps up to try and punch him in the face. He is forced to leap up to hit his face since Riot is so tall. However, Riot seamlessly dodges this punch and slashes right across his stomach. Finally, he uses his other hand to blast him back with an energy wave. Hit lays on his hands and legs, slowly crawling back from Riot as he has been injured to quite a considerable degree. All he can feel is his bones broken and the burning slash wound across his chest. Riot Bomb, Riot shouts, launching a massive energy wave out of his mouth. Hit dodges the attack with his time skip and the match is called off as they believe that Hit is too close to losing his life. We defeated him, of course, Vegeta says, returning to his ordinary base form. Riot then returns to the back of his mind and Vegeta is revealed with no injuries whatsoever. The winner of this tournament by a landslide is Universe 7. So that will conclude the final part of What If Symbiotes were in Dragon Ball. Please tell me something you liked about this What If or something that I should improve on for the next part. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video.